Sandra all the time is here with a cold heart true. She's the ears and the eyes for me and you. Every day, everyone want to hear from Sandra. And every time on the air, she's getting better. So tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your mama, call Sandra in the morning and in the evening. They always calling Sandra. And when they start fighting, they calling Sandra. And they start robbing, they calling Sandra. And if the rooster fly in the kitchen, they calling Sandra. And when they want to get the money, they calling Sandra. Sandra all the time is here with a cold heart true. She's the ears and the eyes for me and you. Every day, everyone want to hear from Sandra. And every time on the air, she's getting better. So tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your mama, call Sandra in the morning and in the evening. They always calling Sandra. And when they start fighting, they calling Sandra. And they start robbing, they calling Sandra. And if the rooster fly in the kitchen, they calling Sandra. And when they want to get the money, they calling Sandra.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Yes, it is Wednesday. How's everybody doing? Hello. Good morning, Instagram folks. Give me one quick second to everybody in WhatsApp. Don't forget, join the WhatsApp channel because the notification list is going to eventually go away. Honey chill. Now, why am I hearing people messaging me? I should not be hearing um, WhatsApp messages coming through. So hold on one second. I need to mute that app so that you guys don't constantly hear ping, ping, ping throughout the entire show. Because that, trust me, is what you listen to. See, there it goes again. I get so many messages. Let me just send this out. 2626 is the number to call in. All right, let me just send this to everybody on WhatsApp. Good morning, everyone. So we have CUC coming on this morning at 8 o'clock. They're going to be talking about what you need to know in terms of the power. And then we're trying to get, I know in the background, my CMR crew is working on a storm surge expert, so we can talk a little bit about what that means for us. And yeah, all things weather today. So okay, let me just go into my audio settings real quick, because you guys, trust me, you don't want to hear how many messages I get, especially during the show, honey chill. So I go to volume mixer and I find what's up and I mute that. Okay, good. I think it's done. Somebody messaged me again. Let's see. Yeah, I actually have to mute certain apps in WhatsApp because otherwise you'd be hearing them all the time. You'd be hearing, no. What? How did that? Oh, I know what it is. Hold on. I know what it is. I have more than one WhatsApp thing open. Yeah. So listen, let me tell you all a little bit about the channel. I know exactly what it is. It's because I can't mute Chrome. All right. So I have Chrome open on WhatsApp and I have that app, WhatsApp computer app, both open at the same time. I'll tell you why. So someone introduced me to channels over the weekend. I saw it and I was like, I don't know what channels are about, whatever. They're like, oh, Sandy, you need to check out channels. And I said, it takes a minute, us older folks, don't want to say old yet. Sometimes it takes a minute for us to get with the times in terms of technology. And so I was like, but you know what? I'm more receptive probably than most people. I'm like, channels, tell me all about it. And so they started to tell me some of the features, because right now we don't use groups because groups offer you zero privacy. So we do not use groups. What we use is WhatsApp notification lists. Now, a lot of people don't know anything about notification lists, but it is very, very super user friendly in the sense that you don't know who's on the notification list. It's one directional, because the problem with a lot of these groups is, oh my God, there's so much chatter between people that it's just so unnecessary. Somebody sneezes in the group and they can be like, you sneeze, whatever. You're like, please, no time for that. And some of them, the dribble in the groups is just downright ridiculous. So I've never been attracted to groups for more reasons than one. A lot of people, they just want to sit there and catch the news. So I would say probably in groups, it's like maybe 15% of the people do 99% of the talking. And the other people just kind of sit back and chillax and, they're just there for the sauce, and sometimes they'll watch the exchanges. So I've always created a notification list for sending out my news for CMR. There are limitations to notification lists. So I think you can only have, for example, 256 people in a notification list. So what I found was happening is I was actually, but I can mute site. Ooh, honey child, don't y'all love modern technology? Look at that. Yeah, so what I found that was happening is I had multiple lists. So sometimes somebody like, oh, well, I didn't get that notification. I was like, oh man, I forgot to send one of my 5 notification lists because I've exceeded the limit. And but it's good in that it's like one directional. I send it out, people respond. When they respond, it's a private response, like it's no group, everybody's seeing it, right? Now channels are a little bit different, and so channels have no limits in the term in terms of the people that you can have. The other great thing about channels is that I don't have to add them, you guys add yourself. So if you want to be in a channel, you just go and find the channel, I guess, click join channel or whatever, and you're good to go. It's a feature that's been around for about a year now, I think. So that's good because before, every time I remember I'm telling you guys, oh, let me know if you want to be on the notification list. I have to save you to my phone, add you to the list, and now I can free up all that space on my phone for contacts. I'll delete everybody. But yeah, so it saves me a lot of steps to actually add someone because I'm not doing the adding, you're doing it. So if you are interested, folks, if you are interested in joining, what you do is, depending on which phone you have, you guys know I'm an iPhone user, there is an area there that says channels. Another great thing that I love that I've discovered since Sunday, since I've been using it, is it gives me the option for my channel and subscribe to other channels, because it's still a little bit buggy in a way, to be honest. It was shutting down my phone quite a bit when I first installed it, and I think it kind of still is. But somebody said for them that stopped once they joined more than one channel. So I've subscribed to like the New York Times, obviously 2 of the K-Man channels. And then, yeah, you can, so it's good in that sense of the word. Okay. So the other great thing why I now have, that's why I was here in WhatsApp this morning, is I have it open in Chrome. It doesn't work on the WhatsApp app, which is on the same PC. I think the app may be still missing some features, but in Chrome, I can send those messages directly from the phone. So a lot of time, the computer, a lot of times I'm sitting in front of the computer and I literally have 3 different WhatsApp messages open, like 2 on this screen to my right. I've got a long 30 something inch screen. There's another wide monitor screen. I have one, my primary one on this screen, because this is like my primary screen. So this is fantastic. I can go between WhatsApp messages. That's why sometimes those of you who send me WhatsApp on the show phone, I got to admit to you that that's the one that I check the least. In fact, I think I need to add it back to this app over here, because I have an app that allows me to add as many WhatsApp applications, as many Skype, Telegram, everything in one singular app, which simplifies my life. But it looks like I need to add the show number back. Okay, I'll do that. I'll add the QR code back. Okay. So yeah, so the fact that I can just send links directly on the computer, whereas with notification lists, that has to physically be done from the phone every single time. And so that's a little bit of a pain, to be honest, especially since I have to send to multiple lists. So FYI, if you are on the, just trying to find this app real quick. If you are on the notification list, I'm giving you warning now, probably in the next week or so, as things start to settle down with messaging, as things start to settle down with social media, I'm trying to find WhatsApp on this thing. As things start to settle down a little bit, I'm actually going to stop messaging to the list. So this is how it works. I want y'all to know what it's all about. So the list, which will now be the channel, CMR channel, is if you want to get all things news related. Okay. So in other words, you get everything that's posted on the website. You get everything that's posted on social media. So if there's a traffic accident, you will get a notification. Sometimes you even get, a notification if we're not quite sure what's going on. We know something's going on. Like yesterday, oh my God, the ambulance was running hot and heavy yesterday. I saw it at least 3 to 4 times, and I was not on the road that much, to be honest. But Link a device. Okay, hold on. I'm going to add back the show. What's up on this computer? Yeah. So I saw it running all over the place. I don't know what was happening. You know, I just know that the ambulance is really hot. There is a person who passed away. May they rest in peace. Poor thing. I understand that it's a man. I don't want to give too much information because I think it might actually be a local individual. So if I describe the car and stuff like that, you guys might be able to figure it out. But basically, this person, I don't know if they were actually at Lone Star, but they may have been. And then they went to their vehicle and basically they just sat in the car and must have had what I suspect is a cardiac event and just died right there in the steering wheel. I'm thinking, oh my God, that's so sad. So my condolences to that person's family. Boy, you know, my aunt always used to say to me, per the Bible, she's like, honey child, you do not know the time, the hour, or the time, or she used to say it so eloquently. No man knows the hour of you know, when it's gonna happen. I said, yeah, honey child. I suppose that's true. Unless you do it yourself, then you might know. So speaking of that, I do want to touch on this briefly. Obviously, most of the show is going to be about the hurricane, but we did have another suicide last week. Was it Friday? Man, the days are starting to kind of melt together. I think it was Friday. And so what I want to say about this is very, very simple. Do not judge. That's my take on it this morning. Do not judge. It's easy to think you know somebody's life and you look at the exterior part of their life and you see what you see. You don't know what you don't know and you don't know what you're not really seeing, right? So yes, there are people with financial means who, you know, are better off financially. They can pay their bills maybe. And you know what? Even that you're being very presumptuous about, because let me be very, very honest. Just because somebody has money, you think they're in a particular income bracket, that doesn't mean that they have more of a disposable income than you. You know what I mean? So this is how it works, folks. The more money you make, the more money you spend. And in fact, there is a threshold. Research has shown that there's a threshold that once you're above that threshold of what you make, it doesn't make you any happier. That's why they say money can't buy you happiness. Because you can be, look at Donald Trump. That man can't possibly be happy. He's so delusional, right? He doesn't have as much money as he claims anyway. But even when you have a certain amount, everything is just like a thing. You know, those things don't bring you happiness. You're still a little old man who is, you know, despite all of that, a very unhappy person. And so rich people suffer from depression. They have financial problems. And in fact, their financial problems might be bigger than yours, because God knows if you have nothing, people judge you differently. It's like, okay, I ain't got nothing. What is there to judge? You know, when you're at the pinnacle of, oh, I live in this particular neighborhood and I have to drive this car and I'm keeping up appearances and all this kind of stuff, there is a certain degree of stress, I imagine, for the majority of people who, that, you know, that comes, somebody just WhatsApp me something that's funny. There's a certain amount of stress that comes with that, right? So this person, you know, I think who she was shocking. Like, oh my God, so-and-so's daughter, you know, she had 2 children, obviously an adult. Thank God. I mean, if there's a silver lining, I'm just happy it's not another teenager, because our teens seem to be very stressed out. But any loss of life is traumatic. My condolences to her family. I can't imagine what those children must have thought when they heard the news. Just a really, really sad situation, to be honest. But the first thing I heard people saying is, well, what does she have to be upset about? All this money that she has? Once you can pay your bills, you should be happy. And I'm thinking, Caymanians, when it comes to mental health in particular, I think we need to get a little bit of a grasp on the reality of the situation. And just because she had money doesn't mean she didn't have problems. I mean, I don't know. You know, there are people who were close to her who said that she had suffered, it sounds like clinical depression, but she'd suffered with a lot of problems for a while. So I don't know her journey. I'm just sad that she didn't feel like she had an alternative, because there's nobody in my mind who decides to just wake up and be like, oh, I'm going to try to kill myself today because that's just a good idea. And why not? I don't think people take it that lightly. And I think we need to give people a little bit of grace when they do end their lives at their own hands. Because again, we don't know what's going on in their minds. We don't know the turmoil that they have been dealing with or any of that stuff. So I'm not here to judge her. I did not know her at all. I just felt very, very sad for her children in particular, that they now have to live with this, especially in a community that, let's be honest, judges you very, very harshly when the word suicide is involved. I mean, you know, I try to be gracious in the posts that I put up about it. And I'll just say a person was found non-responsive and there's no foul play indicated. Normally that means that it's a suicide. Within minutes, of course, everybody was sending me her picture. I got it so many times. The connection, who she's family to, who she's married to, multiple pictures. I even got the screenshot from 911 when they send that out saying, person found deceased in this particular neighborhood. It's, you get all the details. And so very, very sad situation. My condolences really, again, go out to her family. Magdalene, good morning, says a whole lot of folks flossing and don't have two rocks to rub together, a lot living on credit and their name. Michael Jackson was $500 million in debt when he died. Yeah. And the crazy thing is, Magdalene, is it is easier to get credit when you're at a certain, I guess, income bracket, access, whatever, you're able to get credit. So listen, even the banks later on are like, oh yeah, we shouldn't loan Donald Trump any money because we knew he was broke. But because of that name and the perception that came with it in his reality show, I have something so interesting that I'm going to share with you guys at a later date. You guys know how much I love NPR. It's like my favorite. NPR is so educational. It's just amazing. And so this woman wrote a book about reality, the start of reality TV. And she talked about Survivor being like the show that kind of put reality TV on this, platform of being TV that people wanted to watch. And so interestingly enough, of course, she touched on Donald Trump's show. You guys got to listen to what she had to say about his show and the producers and the cast members and the people who were kind of working behind the scenes. But it elevated him to the point where he was actually able to run for president, because he wouldn't have been able to do it before. I can tell you that, before that reality show, right? He would not have successfully done it anyway. But the point is, yeah, when you're in a certain income bracket, you might be able to, as Magdalene rightfully said, get access to a lot of credit. But that doesn't mean that you still don't have financial woes. That doesn't mean that you don't have financial stresses. I have my daughter in private school, and I tell people very, very seriously that if I have to twerk in a pole, because that's a legit living, Cayman, isn't it? I don't think it's illegal. I don't know about the morality of it, but it's not illegal. So, but the sentiment is I work very, very hard to make sure that I can afford the best for her in terms of her education, especially. And, but I talk to parents all the time. And I remember recently talking to a parent, the dad's a lawyer, the mom works in education. And I was like, oh, do you guys have more than one kid? They're like, no, they just have the one child. They're like, we're not sure we can afford more than one kid, just school tuition alone. And I was like, yep, I feel you. You guys know, what I'm talking about. If you have 2, 3, 4 children, heaven forbid you think you can afford more than that, that is, it's a lot of responsibility, right? So again, don't judge people. You don't know their situation. I think it's very, very sort of shallow to think that someone just takes their life for no legitimate reason. And I'm also, Annie says, more money equals more responsibility. What was that song back in the day? More money, more problems. Yeah, right. And I'm also of the viewpoint, I want to put this out there. I know a lot of you are, you have certain religious beliefs around this. And you guys come out very, very strongly when we talk about suicide in our community. Oh, that person's going to hell, and the Bible said it. And I'm like, Erks! Pump the brakes, please pump the brakes. I don't believe that for 1 second. I think a lot of you misinterpret what you think the Bible is saying. And we also have to be cognizant of missing books of the Bible. There's just so much there that I do not believe, right? If you are a true believer and you believe that there is a God and a higher power and all this wonderful, amazing stuff, you can't tell me that God would create us as imperfect as we are with things like depression and people who are bipolar, schizophrenia, all these mental health issues, right? You don't create flawed humans with mental health issues and don't expect that some of them might not be able to handle it, or they might need medication, or medication might not work, or they might be suicidal, or, I mean, give me a break here. God must understand depression. And so you can't put someone in that situation and then blame them for feeling like there's no hope and taking their own lives. It isn't even logical to me. And I hate when people start that conversation. When people start saying it to me, I stop them dead in their tracks. I'm like, listen, I don't want to hear this. Don't have that conversation with me. I am not going to disrespect that person who I feel like they must have been really, really struggling in order to come to. I mean, you guys, if you're a mother, you're a father, you're a parent, the first thing you think about, hopefully, is your children and the impact that your decisions will have on your children. As a mother, what it would take for someone to think, oh my God, I'm going to leave my kids to this world without me in it. It's got to be really, really difficult. So again, condolences, to her family and all the people that she's left behind. And please, if you are struggling with any mental health issues, whether you're depressive or bipolar, I mean, there is help out there. I haven't personally dealt with those issues, so I can't tell you how great the help is, but I know there's help out there. There's help for teens. Please check out the Alex Panton Foundation and the kids hotline that was recently launched just a couple months ago. You have access to these things free of cost, thanks to the Panton family. And there are other resources also available to you. People like, oh, it's so expensive to get to psychiatrists, whatever. Listen, thanks to technology, there are so many things that are now available online for you to access. So just a quick note, we're going to be bringing, changing gears here. We're going to bring in CUC here on, but I just want you guys to know that in terms of closures, so a lot of things now ahead of Hurricane Beryl starting to shut down. Yesterday, government offices closed at 2:00. Court office decided to close at 2:00. We are now in the 24-hour window, and we'll talk about what the latest, time estimations and stuff are. All three islands, folks, need to pay close attention. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Hey, Sandy.
Morning there.
How are you?
Not too bad. How you doing?
All right. Just wishing everyone safe.
Yes.
But what I'd like to mention real quick, securing not only what's right around your house, but also your piled garbage out by the road. I'm driving now from out past the Eastern District into town, and it's amazing how much garbage piled in these rubbish cans or just at the side of the road. This stuff's going to blow all over the place.
Yes.
I mean, come on, Cayman doesn't have to look like another country. We're supposed to be, prideful people, and we can at least make sure that we are taking care of our own, so somebody else doesn't have to take care of theirs.
Absolutely.
I don't mind helping
construction sites. Please, please, please take your stuff down, pack it away, secure it.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the garbage itself that is just going to go around and be everywhere, and blowing into the waters, blowing into people's yards. I mean, come on, Cayman. Like I said, we don't have to look like another country. I watched videos this morning of one country where the garbage was just flowing in the streets. From the flooding, and it was pretty darn disgusting, but it was their fault, their fault, and people don't understand. People are power, and let's get it together. Let's get ready to rock and roll and hold it down.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, caller. Appreciate it. And please be safe.
Yeah, you too, Sandy, and to your family and to all of Cayman.
Thank you very, very much. Yes, folks. I mean, we're in that 24-hour window now of preparation. So I'm asking everyone to, do your part, secure things around your house. And like you said, garbage containers, the whole 9 yards, construction sites, take down your scaffolding, those cranes, my God, they could be a real problem. So please, take those down as well. I see Mr. Michael calling me. Hey, Michael, I'm actually live on air. Can I call you back on air? Because I do want to talk to you. Yeah. Okay, hon. All right, good. He was calling me direct, but I do want to have a quick conversation with Michael as well. So give me 1 second here, folks. Let me just pull him up on the WhatsApp, and we'll give him a quick call. So I got a message late yesterday, last night, 10:22, from Michael, and I do want to talk to him and thank him for something that he's doing at the moment to help the community as well. So this is Michael Jefferson. He has his own paint company called Magic Touch. So let's just have a quick word with him. Sasha, I'm coming to you. Just hang tight. Give me 1 quick second here. Let me see. Okay, so this was the message that I got last night from Michael. Well, not from Michael, from somebody else. They said, hey, I don't really know anything about this company or whatever, but this looks like this is fantastic for the people. Can we give him a big shout out? So basically it says, in times like these, we need to come together as a community. Therefore, we at Magic Touch are offering trim treeing, boarding up windows, garbage removal, and any little thing we can help with in preparation for the storm. If you know anyone that cannot afford it but needs the help, we're offering the help free of cost at this time, as we know times are hard for a lot of people, providing labor only. So this is fantastic. Let's just touch bases with Michael on this. And yeah, I mean, up to yesterday, I got an elderly lady off of Watercoast Road calling me about a tree over her roof, and she's very concerned about it from the neighbor. And so asking for help with tree trimming as well. Hey, Michael, good morning.
Good morning, Sandy. How you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
Good, good.
So
Trying to get
somebody,
some stuff done.
yeah, somebody sent me this message last night. I guess you must have posted this. Looks like Instagram.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell us a little bit about, what this is and what you're doing to try to help the community.
Well, what it came from was I have I do painting and stuff, right? And there was a few clients that I have that they are female only houses and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
they were asking me if we could assist them with some stuff around the house because they didn't really have no help. Um, and I said to myself, I say, there may be a lot of other people out there that in the same situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I just said, let me see if I can try to help out. I did the post, and in no time, a friend of mine at Rubis and gave me some fuel vouchers and told
Mm-hmm.
me that put that towards it as well. And we just been going around helping people that can't afford it because as you know, like the times are hard for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody can afford to pay $150, $200 to trim a tree. You
Mm-hmm.
know, um, so we just we would go around helping people do as much as we can.
Mm-hmm.
And since we did that, I've had over 100 people contact me now.
Wow.
And from things as simple as an old lady called me yesterday
Mm-hmm.
from West Bay.
Mm-hmm.
All she needed was help closing her kitchen window.
Mm.
Um, and I didn't see it as something that anybody would need help with, but I was
Mm-hmm.
surprised when she asked for help to close her kitchen window.
Yeah.
Um, and we went from stuff like that to people with tree trimming and stuff like that. So today I've been getting calls from 6:30 this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Up last night I was getting messages up until 11 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and people messaging about getting stuff done, and so I got my whole crew assisting today. So we starting from West Bay, going up as far as we can get to where the time. because we plan to only work until like 3-4 o'clock today because
Yes.
my guys need to get some stuff as well for themselves to prepare for the hurricane also. So
Absolutely. Well, thank
um,
you. Thank you so much, Michael, for doing this. I'm really very proud of you for thinking of this initiative and for wanting to help because, you know, at this time, it's all hands on deck. I'm going to put a little picture up on the screen of you there so people can see who, they're like, which Michael this is? You know, Caymanians, who this is? So thank you again for really coming forward and offering your assistance. And it's needed. I mean, I'm not surprised that you got 100 people because, like I said, up to yesterday, I had a lady calling me, "Oh, Miss Sandy, can you recommend anyone? You know, I got this tree over and I don't think it's safe. It's like hanging over my roof and I'm really, really concerned about it." So, and it's just her and her elderly mom, you know what I mean? So I
yeah, and
did
that
pass
way,
that on. Hopefully she'll be reaching
yeah,
out
that
as
way.
well.
When I saw your message about that, that's why I was reaching out to you just a while ago for to find out the address of the people because,
Yeah.
like I said, we starting from West Bay this morning, so
I'm gonna
um
send you her number on WhatsApp because she did call me. I thought she said she had WhatsApp me, but to be honest, I've been getting so many WhatsApp messages, I might have got lost there. But I do know that she did call me, so I'm gonna shoot you her number and just give her a
okay,
call and see, you know, how you can assist her because she's right in the heart of West Bay. So I think this is her number here. All right, I'm gonna double check because I get so many calls as well yesterday. Yeah, I think this is it. I'm gonna send you a number. So try this one that I'm gonna shoot you on WhatsApp, and hopefully that's her.
okay,
But yeah, thanks again, Michael. Really, really appreciate it. And you be safe and hope that you and your family are safe during this time.
yes, well, all right, thank you, you too.
All right, thanks, my
All right,
dear.
have a good day.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
So lots of places are closing early. We've got CUC here, so let's go ahead and pull Sasha in this morning, and then we'll get to all the different closures and notifications that you guys need to know about. Good morning, Sasha Tibbetts from Caribbean Utilities Company. How are you?
Morning, Sandy. Thanks for having us on here. Good to be here.
Yes. I mean, we were talking about you guys coming on beforehand in any event, because one of the big questions in people's minds is always like, oh, what's going to happen to water and electricity? And then, of course, you guys are always willing to come on the program, which I really appreciate. You know, I know it's not always easy. And times like this, especially, I know that it's all hands on deck and you guys are extremely busy. And so tell us a little bit about what CUC is doing in preparation for the storm.
Well, I think we're pretty much there. There's only a few last minute items that are happening today, where we're tying a few last containers down and so on. You know, we've got a fairly mature preparedness program that really started from back in the 80s when before or around when Hurricane Gilbert came by, when I wasn't here. I was a school kid at the time. You know, that's matured with experience, and we revise that plan every time we get a brush. Hurricane Ivan was obviously a massive learning experience for all of us. And so I wouldn't say that, you know, we're 100% prepared for everything, but we've done our best and secured as much as we can. And of course, if we have category 3, 4, 5 level winds, there will be damage that is probably going to be unavoidable in all instances for us and for our customers as well. But we do have plans in place to begin restoration, you know, as soon as it is safe to do so. From the way that works, the government will issue utilities and other sort of essential service providers, NRA, et cetera, all clear in advance of the public all clear. And that allows us and those other essential services to get out, do some damage assessments, maybe start clearing hazards off of the roads and stuff like that. So it's really important during that time, if we do get to that situation, that people do stay home. They will see CUC vehicles, they'll see heavy equipment, they'll see emergency services going back and forth. That doesn't mean the roads are open to everybody. It's really, really fundamentally important that people take those extra 2-3 hours, leave the roads empty so that the work can get done. And we will start our process of restoration right off the bat. All of our staff are sort of queued up on who's coming in and shift rotations and so on. We will have our operations team operating through the storm. This is standard practice. So I've seen some of the rumors going around, and thank you for reaching out last night to fact check some of them. CUC does not shut the power off on a scheduled basis for a storm. The way that we will operate through the storm is we will hope to be able to operate through the entire storm. However, in the event that there's damage, just like if a car hits a pole or if a tree falls on a line or whatever, that area, the fuse or the circuit breaker that serves that area will operate, and we won't be able to come out and repair it like we would on a normal day. We'll go through the storm until the last circuit is available, and only once that last piece has gone, if we get to that level of damage, will we be shutting the plant down. So we will keep going as even if there's 4 customers left online. Hopefully we don't get there. I think it was 2 years ago when we had Hurricane Grace. I think we I guess it was Tropical Storm Grace then. We all saw what that was like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Yeah, it was 2011, I think. And so it's going to be very much like that. We'll continue to operate and serve customers. It's just if we have an outage, once the winds get up, we're not going to be able to respond to it until it's safe for us to do so.
Yes. And of course, I want to say, I don't know who sent out this message yesterday, what the source of it was. But I just want to remind people that, misinformation at a time like this can be extremely dangerous. It causes people to panic. I actually had a lady last night call me, and she said, "Oh my God, Sandy, I'm so upset. I hear that CUC is going to be turning off the power at a certain time." And I said, "No," I said, "That's fake news. It's not correct." She's like, "Oh, thank you, because so-and-so just called me and they told me and they said it." And I said, "Well, if anybody gonna know, that'd be Sandy. So I'm going to call," and we posted it on social media. So I know a lot of our radio listeners don't always have access to social media, but this was the message for clarity that was being sent around. It talked about, it looks like it was part of a larger.
Got it on the screen for 2 seconds. It's not true. Take it off.
Yeah. So, folks, do not believe everything that you receive, especially in these WhatsApp, chats. I know people think that they're trying to be helpful, but if they haven't verified or cross-checked information, then that's not helpful at all, and that's actually very harmful. So when I saw the message, I said, this doesn't coincide with what CUC had already put out there, in fact, which is kind of ironic because I already had saw your social media messaging. So it didn't coincide with that. And in the past, CUC has never done that. So I thought, this doesn't feel right. I reached out to Sasha and the CUC team and said, "Hey, is this true? Like, what's going on here?" And they said, "Absolutely not true." So again, folks, that was a bit of fake information, fake news, whatever. Don't panic. CUC is here to ride with us as long as they can, basically.
Very, very much so. And for those customers that haven't seen it yet, we did email all of our customers with a sort of a bulletin of what we can expect over the next 24 hours. There's some tips in there. There's some safety things for people to think about. A power line on the ground may be still energized. There are things that can cause there to be voltage is very harmful to people. So it's very important that you don't contact any of those things. Similarly, wading through water, there may be down power lines in that water that could cause currents that could be damaging. So really want to ask people to consider not doing that. Obviously, the system is designed to sort of prevent that from happening. However, in these situations where there could be catastrophic damage, there may be other influences and other sources of energy on the grid that could be causing a current, small current, or harmful enough that it would hurt or damage or possibly kill somebody. So please stay away from down power lines and stay out of the puddles.
Yes. And, the other day, someone, I think it was last week, sent a message that they actually heard a power line snap. And I know we reached out to you as well, and you said, "Sandy, it happens a lot more often than people think." a lot of times these trucks that are too high, you know, touching your power lines and pulling lines down.
In that case, actually, I think it was a telecommunications wire, because the lowest lines were the telecoms lines, and in that case, I think that's what they got. But the line pulled on our pole and caused the power lines to slap together and cause some damage up top as well.
Oh wow! And so there was a little bit.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Area was
drivers forget to put their top down, and it's a mess.
And can you tell the difference? I mean, obviously, you don't want to be going down trying to play, you know, engineer here, but can you tell the difference on site between a power, like an average person, between a power line and a telecom line? Because to me, they all look the same. I got to be honest with you.
Yes, but I probably can't describe it in a way to give somebody a definitive. I was going to say if it's wrapped in black, it's probably a telecom line, but we do have service wires that come to people's homes that are insulated as well, that could look very much the same as a telecommunications line. The only way that you can definitively tell is if you look at the pole, the lowest lines, if they're insulated, usually in black polymer. Those are usually telecommunication lines.
Don't take chances.
But service wires that run over to the house weatherhead, they are also insulated in black. So it really is. It's hard to say.
All right, so be safe, folks. And I think that important message about after the storm, because of course everyone wants to get out and see what has happened, what damage has been caused. Sometimes just being nosy, to be honest. You've got to wait until the all clear is given for the general public. Because, you know, as Sasha said, there's a distinction between service crews being able to go out there and get to work, which is very, very important, to check their equipment, restore any power outages or, you know, things that might have gotten damaged.
And primarily to make sure the roads are safe, right? Yeah. So we're going to be out clearing lines off of the road. Other people will be with operating heavy equipment, clearing trees and debris off of the road. So just because you see that there are people out there does not mean it's safe enough for the average person to be out there.
Absolutely. So, you know, be cautious on making sure that you've gotten the official all clear. So Sasha, thank you so much for coming on the program, letting us know a little bit about what Caribbean Utilities Company will be doing in preparation for the storm, what you guys have already done. And it's just good to know that you've got a plan, and you know, now it's all about, like everything else, just really working that plan. I want to say a big thank you to all of the employees at CUC. I think you've got over 200 there who are going to be working around the clock. 270.
It's going to be a very busy 48 hours for a lot of us, and hopefully that the storm keeps turning left. Spares Jamaica and spares us. But who knows, right? We have to prepare for the worst.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, folks. Do people need to report during the storm, Sasha? Do they need to report power outages? I mean, obviously, I know you guys will be watching and monitoring it.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So in normal circumstances, we're aware of power outages as they happen. Even if it's just a single home, the meters report them to us. In this instances where we might have a large amount of outages, we're probably not going to get data for every single outage. However, we do have ways of detecting where outages are while we're doing the restoration. If people feel the need to sort of report a damage, we do have our outage hotline that people can call into. It's 945-1282, which is 945-1-CUC. That is an automated system, and you can leave a message if you want to let us know about something that you've seen. But I can assure you we're aware that the power is out, and there will be a lot of communication about what our plans are and where we're planning to restore first or second, etc. In general, people will ask, well, where are you going to restore first? We're going to go after essential services. So obviously hospitals, emergency services, airports, etc. Well, there's not the one airport. And that sort of thing, you know, where we get the infrastructure of the island up and running and safety systems in place first, if possible. Depends on where the damage is, of course. And then the process is try and get as many customers on as fast as possible. So there's not really a prioritization by area. It's more like look at where the damage is, and for the amount of effort that we can put in, how many customers can we bring back on, and we will work in that way. So hang tight. We'll be communicating as much as we can through our social media, through channels like this, and other media houses. We'll be trying to keep our customers as informed as possible. Hopefully we don't end up like after Hurricane Ivan where there's little or no communications, but we will use every method that we have available to communicate with customers as far in advance as possible about what the plans are, so they themselves can make decisions on what they need to do with their personal situation.
All right. Well, thanks very much. And again, thank you to all of the CUC employees who are going to be working extra hard to keep the power on as long and as safely as possible. Thanks, Sasha. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Be safe.
Yes, you too. All right, folks. Lots of workers out there over the coming days who are going to be working overtime. And we want to acknowledge their hard work and their efforts. Even Cayman Airways, big shout out to Cayman Airways this morning. I see that Marilyn posted on her social media that the last flight last night was heading out at 2:10 in the morning. So she posted this beautiful sort of twilight picture of Cayman Airways at the tarmac there in Miami. Let me see if I can pull it up here for you. And she said 2:10 a.m. This is what her post said. Hold on a second. There it is. Hold on. Let me go back to her message. I got oh my God, I got so many messages open this morning. So many tabs open. All right. So she said 2:10 a.m. last flight for tonight. Beryl got Sir Turtle working overtime, starting all over again at 10 a.m. And Cayman Airways has put on additional evacuation flights today as well. So please make note of the following. If you're traveling or if you were scheduled to travel or you're trying to get out a little bit earlier, know that all airlines are doing their best to accommodate you. They're waiving a lot of the like change fees and all sorts of stuff the next couple hours, next couple of days, I should say, with this pending storm. But they're also really going above board and ensuring that if you need an evacuation flight out, today is going to be it. The airport is closing today. So let's talk about some of the closures, right? What hasn't closed already? So I told you, government buildings have closed, core government, a lot of people, their family members, even though core government has closed, keep in mind a lot of government workers are essential workers, and so they still have to work. I saw somebody saying something about, they're gonna run to Honduras, and I wanted to say to them, aren't you considered an essential worker? Police, customs, border control, these people can't go anywhere. So big shout out to them. We know that you guys are working overtime, you're working around the clock, and your job doesn't permit you as an essential worker to be like, I'm gonna activate that vacation now, honey, chill. See y'all later. It would be extraordinary for you to be able to do that. Aliano's asking about British Airways still inbound for today. I'm not 100% sure, but we can certainly inquire. Right. So what are we talking about here? Let me try and I don't know why my email has been a little bit buggy lately. Outlook is not responding. All right, let me have a look at my phone. Even the computer stressed out, honey, Jim. All right, give me 1 second. Let me pull it up on my phone. Cayman Airways sent out notifications yesterday. We got stuff from DEH. Hold on about garbage collection. Let me see what's going on. I should probably bring my laptop in the studio today. Because oh my gosh, this guy responded to me. Hold on. This is really important. Hold on. Let me see here now. Okay. Come on, email. Don't fail me now, honey, chill. Oh, wow. Let me check my email more often. Okay. I'm trying to get a special guest on, and he actually responded. Woohoo. Hold on a second now. I'm going to send him the link to join the show. Fingers crossed. Because he was actually in Grenada when it hit. And he's got some footage up about it. Oh my God. Anyway, all right. So, yes, his footage. Let me see if I can pull up his footage actually, because I definitely want to talk to him. I was like, oh my God, when I saw his video footage, I was like, no, oh my God. I think he actually went there to capture some of it. I was like, man, the roof being blown up. Like he shows the roof being blown off. And yeah, so we'll get some of his footage. Shows you where they were and all the damage in Grenada. So it'd be great if we could get this firsthand information from him. So stay tuned. Hopefully he can pop on the show. All right. So yes, lots going on. Cayman Airways. So I was saying that Cayman Airways has put on additional flights. A lot of the airlines have done this, and so here's what we know. Yesterday afternoon, Cayman Airways added more evacuation flights, again, as Cayman has this pending storm placed on a hurricane warning. Wednesday, today, we've got flights leaving out. These are all to Miami. So if you got to get out of here, grab your little bag and get going. 7 a.m. departure, 7:30 a.m. departure, 9 a.m. departure, 10 a.m. departure, and 12:10 departure. Last flight out, 12:10 departure. So if you got to go, you already missed the 7 o'clock and you missed the 7:30. You can't make the 9 o'clock because you need to be at the airport at least an hour. And then you've got 10 o'clock and 12:10 still available. So 2 more flights out of here. Okay. So that's on Cayman Airways if you need to get to Miami. Now, there are people who were saying to me that they needed to, quickly, they've got kids who have special needs and now they're getting concerned. Some of y'all were messaging me, oh, Sandy, my passport had just expired, honey child. During hurricane season, please keep on top. I know we're all busy. Life gets busy, but do not have an expired passport in your household. Get that, listen, especially that British passport, because now you got talking about, you want to get a waiver. That office is closed. They can only deal with emergency waivers. Listen, have your passport ready to go. Okay. Always you should have travel documents ready to go in the case of an emergency. You never know. Julie says that BA is in the air. Thank you so much, Julie, for confirming that. Strong Will, just waking up. Aren't you lucky? What did you miss? Hit that rewind button. Curtis from Cayman Brack says, yep, landing Bahamas at 4:37. Thank you so much. In 4:37. Like in 4 minutes and 37 seconds or at 4:37 p.m. So it's landing in Bahamas now. It says coming. Jamila says, yes, it's leaving at 4:30. They changed the time. Okay. Airport here is closing as well. So, of course, the airlines would be aware of the pending storm and the closures. So let me tell you, in terms of the airport, big shout out to CIAA, everybody over there, keeping us, in the know. So yesterday they posted this. I know we posted it slightly before they did their official notice, because y'all know sometimes we get the sus. But airport is going to be closing, cease operations today, Wednesday, yes, 6 p.m. That's Owen Roberts International Airport. Then in Cayman Brack, they're going to cease operations at 3 p.m. today. So if you trying to decide, do I go to the Brack? Do I stay in Grand Cayman? You got till 3 p.m. to make that decision, because then that's it. The airport is closed. They will resume once the all clear is given. And please, if you again have any concerns, contact your airlines directly. Reduce congestion in the short-term and long-term parking lots. Speaking of parking, I got a huge request that has come in relation to, let me see here, in relation to parking. So a lot of you are trying to park on the bridge by the Kimpton, because that's higher ground. The National Roads Authority is asking for you, please, not to do that. Because this presents a danger to, that's the only way really out of West Bay. Emergency services need to have access in and out of West Bay. Cleared access. They don't know what kind of trucks they might be needing to utilize. So they're asking for you, please, if you were parking there, if you've already parked your car there, you need to go and move it. All right? The RCIPS will make you move your vehicle. It is not a safe place for you to park. It's not authorized parking. It is a public roadway. And so you cannot park there. All right. So this is, they've reached out, they're going to have the RCIPS assist as well. This is the bridge by the Caboose site north of the Kimpton. It's the only route in and out of West Bay. We could really use your help this morning. This is the message I got after 12 o'clock in the morning. I was still up till after 1 o'clock, unfortunately. It says that we could really use your help to get the word out to motorists. While we appreciate that it may present as a safe space to protect your vehicle from floodwaters, we warn against it because it can seriously hinder operations of first responders prior, during, and after the storm. So, you know, don't do it. Okay? Don't park there. Someone's asking for Michael's number. Hold on 1 second. Let me get that to you. So, yes, please, you know, pay attention to what the authorities have to say, because this is really, really important stuff. Give me 1 second here, Michael. All right. So if you already parked there, go move your vehicle. You're going to have to find somewhere else to park. Have a plan. I mean, like I said, this is all part of what we should be thinking about. All right. Give me 1 quick second here. I do want to see if I can call this lady back about her tree. I want to make sure, you know, her and her elderly mom are all sorted out. I think that's her number. This is a thing. I want to make sure I've got the right number. All right. Give me 1 second. Okay. Got a caller in the next line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Thanks a million, Sandra. They just come and pump out my drain and they're putting the next one now. You well, like they say about they don't want, my daughter don't want me on talk show, but see, you don't get nothing if you don't see I get on again and they respond. So thanks very much. They just get to pumping mine out. They done by my mother-in-law. But that's the hard one. That'll always be the hard. They had to lick it, but they right down there now. So thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
Talking gets to respond, and like action man, I say if you see something, say something. So if you stay silent, you don't get nothing. So
yeah,
but
absolutely.
People are gonna be people and criticize you. Don't care what you do. But like I said, I don't be talking about nobody. I be asking for help for stuff that you need. So
yeah, I'm glad they sorted you out, because when I spoke to them yesterday, they said yes, they would get to you either late yesterday or early today. So good news.
Yeah, and then the firemen had came last night, and they said that if they didn't come, I said call them back. They were gonna see what they could do. They came assist me. They brought me sandbags. Thanks to them, they take care of my husband. So thanks very much. They remember the good that he been to them, because they all them older men he hired. So they do forget him. They tell me anything for him. So
yeah,
but when you treat people good.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for the update.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
All right, darling.
Okay,
have a good one. So another problem solved. That's what we're here for. I mean, I love it. I love to hear. Thank you so much to NRA for getting that done. I know she has been on it for about 4 weeks, and I messaged them yesterday and I said, listen now, Miss Shalma, call in the show. Go sort her out. And they're like, oh God, Sandy, we got one long list, but we're going to get to her. Don't worry. We promise you. And they kept their promise. I really appreciate that. Big shout out to Edward Howard and all of the guys over at the National Road Authority who are working hard already ahead of the storm. So listen, John says, remove all those fits. Listen, your vehicle is going to get removed. The police, like we said, are involved. So you need to move your vehicle. Go move it. It's not a good look. And it hinders safety is the most important thing. And we cannot have a situation where first responders can't can't move freely. BA has rerouted all their flights coming here. It was posted on social media, says someone there. Okay, let me see here now. Okay. All right. So somebody's mentioning about plywood for Newlands. The MP's office is opening at 9 o'clock. They had run out of plywood. This is Wayne Panton and Heather Bodden. They had to order more, and they're hoping that the truck will be in the area around 9:30. It's not been an easy few days. We have people coming to us from everywhere. I can imagine. Welcome to being an MP. All right. Oops, let me restart the IG link. Give me one quick second here. We appreciate it's not easy on you guys, and some of you guys have children and families of your own. But when you sign up for it, you signed up for it. So don't expect too much sympathy from me. I'm not the one. I'm like, hey, this is a job, and there's a lot of tough jobs out there. So I figure 90% of the time this job actually isn't that tough. But when we have a national disaster, get all hands on deck, especially elected officials. So welcome. Aliano says, okay, nice. Come on, Speedbird. Mama coming home for a visit during a hurricane. So speaking of that, where will the planes be parked? I'm assuming they're going to park them overseas. I don't think they keep them here, right? I'm trying to remember how this works now. Let's talk about garbage collection here in a second as well. So the planes probably need to have time to fly to Miami. Let me just confirm that they'll be safe, because of course we need those planes operational. So we don't want to have planes here getting damaged. Stephanie, good morning. It says, thank you for always keeping us informed, Miss Sandra. Stay safe, y'all. Thank you very much, Stephanie. Damien says, is it illegal to drive around if the all clear is not lifted? Don't recall now. I do think that actually it is, but I'm going to confirm that. But I do think that you can be arrested for, doing whatever you're trying to do when the all clear has not been given. I believe that's actually an offense. But let me confirm. I'll confirm. Hold on one second. Yep, I do think that's the case, actually. All right, so let's talk about DEH and what they're doing. A lot of people have been asking about garbage collection. So DEH. All right. They sent out something about hurricane safety. Hold on. Football Association closing its office and announced all football-related activities are canceled as the Cayman Islands prepared for Hurricane Beryl. Cayman Islands is placed under hurricane watch, yada, yada, yada. All right, no football for y'all. You got to just watch what's happening on TV for football. Is Eurocup still on? I think it is. Eurocup, Copa America, lots of football to watch. All right. And then we'll get the weather update here in a second. But exactly what we can expect with this storm. All three islands now under Hurricane Beryl warning. Okay. Oh, somebody said how to find you on the WhatsApp channel. That's a good question. So if you know where to find channels, apparently you can click on that and search for local channels. I found the search feature to not be the best in the world, to be honest. So what I will do is if you request it, hold on one second. And I think I also have it up on my copy link. So I'll send it via WhatsApp. I think that I also have it on, I'll do it as an auto message. So if you auto message me, I'll have the link there. And then we're going to start putting stuff on our social media pages where you can just scan. I asked our designer to do a QR code where you can just scan the QR code, and that'll give you all of the information as well in terms of the joining the channel. Okay, so let me send that to you. Send it and share it with friends and family. It's not just hurricane news. Obviously, that's what we're focusing on now. But all news, this will be our primary way of communicating with people via WhatsApp. So there's the link. Thank you so much for asking, because that's a really good question. And I will put up the QR code a little bit later on. Okay. So let me see now. Right. So garbage collection, HSA, clinics, elected surgeries, all that canceled. Okay. Closing the outpatient clinics, including district health centers, urgent care, therapy services, mental health, phlebotomy, radiology, dental, and eye care clinics across all 3 islands as of 12 o'clock today, all closed through Thursday. Following services will close early today, and that includes the Smith Road Pharmacy and the main hospital pharmacy closing at 2 o'clock. Information desk and medical records also closing at 3 o'clock. All elective surgeries are going to be put on hold. You'll be contacted regarding rescheduling those appointments. All right. Sister Islands closures as well. Yes, sir. Just click on this to join the click on that to join the channel. All right. So Little Cayman Healthcare Center, Faith Hospital closing at 2 o'clock today. And outpatient clinics at Faith Hospitals are actually going to close at 12 o'clock today. And the pharmacy closes at 2. A&E emergency at Faith Hospital is going to remain open for any emergencies, but will be temporarily relocated to the Aston Ruddy Medical Wing from 1 p.m. today. All right, so that's a little bit higher ground than where the hospital is there in the BRAC. If you need to contact A&E, they're in Cayman BRAC, 244-7643. Little Cayman Health Center, 916-5395 in the case of an emergency. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning, my dear. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good. Tell me.
Okay. When you get the all clear.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Have you ever heard about a term called aquaplaning?
Aquaplaning?
Yes, ma'am.
I think so.
You tell me the meaning.
This is where you're driving, and say you're driving in a slick surface like water. Basically, your car is not making sufficient contact with the roadway, and so
okay, don't stress yourself out.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Okay, you're getting there.
All right.
Okay. I did 2 courses, one in England and one in North Florida University at Jacksonville. And they gave me two definitions, but both of them ended up to the same thing. Okay, listen. I'm going to teach for us because you have other people waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Aquaplaning is from the UK, and in America it's hydroplaning, which all 2 definitions the same thing. It's a wedge of water build up between the tires and road surface.
Mm-hmm.
And the vehicle, if you're driving at high speed through water, the vehicle is gonna get on top of this water and start sliding through, and you'll have no control over the car anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And what you should do is try to keep the steering car going straight, because if you steer into any direction, whenever time the car stops, wherever it goes, it's gonna lurch into that direction, and you're gonna have problems. So we need to have proper observation when you're driving, once you're on water service, because you're gonna
Hello?
You don't know
Yes.
how deep the water is. Or you might have potholes and you don't know. So
yes, my dear.
Keep observation at all times.
Thank you so much.
So was it all clear?
Yes.
Reduce your speed, and you don't want to be slamming on your brake when you get in the water.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes, have a good one, and please be safe. And you got your situation sorted out with the jury duty?
Definitely. Thanks to you.
The power of CMR, I tell you. So thankful.
I got a call the following morning that I should not appear.
Yes. Beautiful. Just like that. One post.
Yes.
Thank you. Well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. He's the gentleman where we posted his picture. Recovered from a stroke, partially recovered, I should say. And can't walk upstairs. Jury duty's upstairs because that courthouse ain't fit for people with special needs. And they were still telling him, you got to come to jury duty. And he was sitting there, poor little thing, with his doctor's note in his hand. I said, we'll take care of this for you. One picture, one post, and it's going to be handled. I feel certain. And he was like, okay. He just sat back and smiled. And like I said, he said next day he got a phone call. All right. So yes, you don't know what people are going through. Miss Hureta, good morning, says, good morning, Sandra, watching from New Jersey. Keep up the good news. Well, it's not good news, but we're trying our best. Miss Shalma's donkey story needs a special cut, says Live Happy. Morning, Miss Sue. Faber, good morning, joining us from New Jersey as well. New Jersey being represented. Thank you so much. Has it hit Jamaica yet? We're going to get an update here in a second. Meshia says, what about Randite drainage? Ooh, honey child. Randite Gardens is a hot mess. No amount of drainage can fix that problem because it should have never been built, truth be known. Annie asking for radio. So listen, you guys kind of waited last minute for the radio requests. However, you're sort of in luck, but not a whole lot of you are going to be in luck. We have a few spare radios left. Now, those of you who requested radios from me yesterday, you WhatsApp me and you specifically requested a radio. There should be enough at the DMS station off of Sand Road for you to go by and grab a radio. That's because people who requested them before didn't pick them up. This ain't the time to be like, oh, just hold on to radios. This emergency time, honey child. People need, where are those radios? I think I have another few in my car. People need those radios. They're rechargeable, so you charge them up. They're going to last a long time. Super good because you can program all the channels in at one time. I'll order some more, but this is why they're really portable. You get your little headset with them. You need a radio during a time like this. Michelle says, stay off the roadway. Yes, please, and thank you. Damien, so yes. Oh my God, Annie. Keep in mind what I just told you. Okay, he is a stroke survivor. So sometimes we don't know these things, and I know y'all be like, "Hurry up, get to the point." But take your time. Take your time. That's my little friend, honey chill. Take your time. Nathina says, Sandy, you'd be a phenomenal detective or private eye. In another lifetime, honey chill. Although some of it is required even in this job, I must tell you. Annie says, I need one. Okay, send me a WhatsApp message. Reed joining us from Illinois. Good morning, Reed. I lived in Ireland. You're in Ivan. Ooh, honey. Stay safe, K-Man. Thank you so much, Reed. Everton, you're in the U.S. You don't need a radio. You can go to Walmart. Do they still sell radios there? Georgiana says the rain is off and on in Montego Bay. There seems to be rather calm now. So this is definitely the calm before the storm. We'll be talking about Jamaica here in a second. I was actually watching the Weather Channel this morning. I think it was actually Fox Weather. I've got like 3 or 4 weather channels that I'm monitoring all at the same time. AccuWeather, Fox Weather, and the Weather Channel. And in fact, I'm going to bring up one here now on my computer. You guys know we're the streaming experts around here. So contact Roque if you're not getting all these weather options and you're thinking, why can't I get all those channels, Sandy? Mm-hmm. Just message me. I'll get you sorted out. All right. Yeah, I think did I message you yesterday, Anne, about being able to go and hold on a second here. I think I messaged you yesterday that you can probably go. Oh, yes. Oh, good. Yeah, your husband's on his way to get it. Awesome. All right. Somebody just sent me some video footage from St. Thomas, Jamaica. What? Already? Ooh, honey, chill. Yes. Oh, my gosh. Jamaica, get ready. Now, listen. You guys know my husband's Jamaican, honey, chill. And apparently he was saying to me, he doesn't normally watch the news, but he's watching it now, that you guys, I checked in my mother-in-law and I said, hey, Mom, you ready? She said, I'm ready as I'm ever going to be. But apparently a lot of Jamaicans are not taking this storm seriously. I can't believe it. I'm like, Jamaicans not, actually, let me take that back. I can't believe it because they wasn't taking COVID seriously either. Good morning, caller. This is not the time to play around with life. Hello.
Good morning. Is it possible to get one of those radios?
Well, it certainly depends. Anything's possible. But send me a WhatsApp message. And in fact, are you in town at the moment or where are you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. This is what you must do. It's gonna be first come, first grab kind of a situation.
Okay, I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Go by DMS Broadcasting. Tell them you're there for one of the CMR radios.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, honey Jan.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you very, very much. Bye-bye. And I will go on Amazon and order some more radios now that I'm thinking about it. I do this out of pocket and I just give them away. I'm not charging anybody because I feel like, most homes no longer have a radio. I certainly don't have one around here. And we all should have a little emergency radio. And these radios, like I said, they're great. They're perfect. All right, banks closing. Everybody saw CNB sent out their notification. So all of the banks, retail banks are closing today. And then CNB actually had some ATM machines that were out of commission as well. So have a little bit of money. This is coming from someone who doesn't normally have money. I have about $60 US, I think. Not a whole lot. Fill up your cars with your gas. You should have done these types of things already. Never during hurricane season, let that gas tank go below half a tank, right? If you have an electric vehicle, make sure that you also charge up, because once the power gone, because even the electric vehicle, if you ain't got no power, you can't charge that, honey, Jill. So, that's going to be a situation. The weather radar has been taken down because they don't want it to get damaged. I kind of chuckled about it yesterday because it's so funny. I was thinking about that and I thought, oh God, we just got it fixed. Looks like it's working. The last thing we need now is for this storm to come and take it out of commission. So they must have, I don't know if they heard me and were like, Sandy putting her goat mount on that radar. We better hurry up and take it down. But regardless, they have decided to, let me see if I can find that notification. I think that was that yesterday? They've decided to take some precautions ahead of the storm. Let me just see if I can find that post. Let's see here. So big shout out to DEH. They've been out and about doing collections up to, today for sure. Let me see here now. All right. So DEH reminders, this is from them. All right. So landfill is going to close today to allow DEH to make preparations to secure buildings and equipment. 24-hour landfill drop-off will remain open to the public during this time. Operating hours for Cayman Brac landfill, 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. on the sister islands. Everything is going to be closed on Thursday, of course, ahead of the storm. All right. So this is Department of Environmental Health, garbage collection. Well, there'll be no garbage collection on Thursday, obviously, suspension of those services, and, continue to pay attention to that. There will be a delay by 1 day of garbage collection. We've got Jonathan. I'm so excited. Hey, I just saw you pop there. Wow. Thank you so much for coming in our program. Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry, it's been obviously a very difficult few days here in Grenada and of course Kirikou. And everything's limited. We're just a couple of guys, independent journalists.
Yes.
And communication is basically impossible. The only communication on the island was from the Starlink we brought with us, and that's the only way we had a window to the outside world to be able to show the devastation that Hurricane Beryl brought to that small island.
So listen, let's talk about you for just a quick second. Someone sent me your link yesterday. I'd never even heard of you before, but this is great. This is what I love about social media. And your YouTube channel looks amazing. So you're a journalist by trade, yes? Over 20 years?
Yeah. I'm one of the few people you'll meet who graduated with a degree and they're still using it 20 years later.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is so awesome. Somebody said that they were just watching your YouTube channel last night. So you're a celebrity for some people. Really appreciate you jumping on. So journalist, and then your focus right now is on weather?
I was in local news in the United States for 15 or so years, working in various markets. Tampa was the main place that I've been for most of my career.
Nice.
And then I worked for national weather.
I live in Tampa.
What's that?
I used to live in Tampa.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So I live in St. Pete still.
Okay.
But then I went to a national weather network and I worked there for 3 years. And then I met my partner, Brandon, who's WX Chasing, who you'll see, all the videos from his channel as well. And we met at Kilauea, a volcano in Hawaii that was erupting back in 2018. And we developed a really good professional relationship. I saw somebody with just an immense amount of talent. He was already an independent storm chaser. That's been his craft for a lot longer. And I realized, I was like, you know what, I need to get out of the mainstream media. I need to do this independently so I can have more control over the stories I'm able to share and how I want to be able to share it.
Yes.
My main focus, if you watch my channel and you watch the content that I share, is on the people, because that's what matters to me. Anybody can go out and start yelling at clouds and scream about how scary it is and how exciting it is. But what I want people to do is to really connect and have empathy for, people that are going through something that any one of us could go through in a split second. Nature is wild no matter where you live. You have tornadoes, you have blizzards, you have earthquakes, tsunamis, and of course hurricanes. And so we should all have that empathy for each other and look out for each other. And so that's why I have that focus on people's stories.
Yeah, no, this is fantastic. And listen, we are, our platform, we're the little train that could, June 29th of 8 years ago, we just celebrated our 8th anniversary. We started this platform. And again, you talk about non-traditional media having control over what it is that you do and not always playing by the rules that everybody, like their rule book doesn't work for us. And so we feel you in terms of you can still have success in alternative ways. You don't have to do it the traditional way. So congratulations to you in terms of that. I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. And big shout out to all the folks in Tampa. We have a lot of Caymanians who live in the Florida area, live in the Tampa area, and who are obviously, watching with keen interest all of what's happening with the storm. So when I saw and I can't remember exactly who sent me your link, but when they sent it to me and I saw what you were doing, I thought, oh my God, this is amazing to have this type of footage of what has happened in Grenada, because we're now 24 hours out from the storm impacting us here in the Cayman Islands. And of course, traditional news don't do what you do. So when we sit down and watch even the Weather Channel, CNN, they're only going to cover it from the perspective of the U.S. interests, right? What's happening in America.
Or they want to scare you.
Yeah, and if it's not a direct threat, you get a little 30-second snippet normally. That's why we love people like the Weatherman. We love you for really going a bit more in depth. Somebody's asking, what's his YouTube channel? I'm going to introduce you to a whole new audience here this morning as well, Jonathan. Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah, there's no way you're going to be able to just get it from my name. You're not going to be able to spell it right.
yeah.
You could have to put it in the comments.
I will share I'll share the link here so everyone can start following you. But you actually tell us what day that you actually got into Grenada.
Well, you got to imagine this was a really difficult hurricane, and this is a difficult situation to do. If it was easy, the networks would all be here, but it was just myself and Brandon. And so I'll explain why. It went from a tropical storm to a major hurricane in the shortest amount of time in history, except for storms that happen in September, which is peak hurricane season. So you can imagine a couple of days out, it's really difficult to make the investment as an independent journalist. This is coming out of my bank account. You know, I don't have some corporate sponsorship that's paying for this. But to make that decision to fly from Florida all the way to Charlotte, and then Charlotte to here in Grenada. And to do that, at that point, the cone of uncertainty, as it said, is so wide. It could have gone up to St. Vincent. It could have gone up even further north, or it could have even dropped a little bit further south. So how do you play that game of roulette? That's essentially what it is. It's island roulette. Which island is this small 20-mile eye, which is the main impacts of the storm? That's the only part of the storm we really have to worry about. I mean, that's in this kind of a hurricane, that's it. And which of these islands, like Carriacou is 13 square miles. So how do you make that decision even 3 days out to go to Carriacou? Now, we have a lot of forecasting experience. We're not meteorologists, but we have a really good understanding of the weather. And so we had a target of Union Island. The Grenadines and Grenada and St. Vincent, it's actually very difficult to get between islands, especially on the weekend. And this happened to be able to get there in time. It's, the weekend, right?
Right.
Ferries don't run on regular schedules. Flights are difficult to a lot of delays, et cetera, as I'm sure you guys are totally aware of with the puddle hoppers. So we finally make a decision, fly in Friday here to Grenada, spend the night, make a last minute decision to buy a flight up to Carriacou on Saturday. So we get up there, on Sunday. We flew up there on Sunday. So the day before the hurricane, so that's June 30th, I believe, right? It was Sunday. And we know that the hurricane is almost certainly going to come directly over Carriacou at that point. And, our gamble essentially paid off that's where it was going to impact the most. It didn't wobble to the south, and it just stayed, unfortunately, right in the path of Carriacou. So we had a few hours of daylight to go around and show the island as much as we could before, because we know we've been in enough hurricanes that no matter which direction you're looking, 360 degrees, everything you're looking at is going to be different in just a few hours. Homes are going to be destroyed. Roofs are going to be gone. The vegetation is going to be shredded away from the island. It's not going to look like a tropical rainforest anymore. It's going to just look like sticks. It's going to be brown. It's going to be ugly. And so we did that. I talked to some folks on the island to share their stories, kind of what they're thinking. And then I produced a couple of videos to emphasize the danger of Hurricane Beryl before it got there, because Carriacou they've never really experienced a major hurricane like this. Maybe since the 50s, I believe Janet was the last real hurricane that the old timers would talk about. But the generation today, they experienced Ivan, but that was further south. That was, again, I say the core of the hurricane matters. Miles matter in hurricanes. The further you get away from that core, the less of an impact. So the people up in Carriacou really didn't have a major hurricane, and they had no experience with it. So you can imagine, you can watch movies, you can watch videos, but until you're actually in the eye of a hurricane, especially a major hurricane, you don't know what a hurricane is. I'm sorry, you just don't. Yeah. You can say you've been in a hurricane just because you've been in the cone or whatever, but no, unless you've been in a major hurricane eye wall, like, you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful the next day when I started talking to people actually run up to me and says, "Hey, thank you so much. Like, it was you doing the videos, right?" And these are strangers. And they said, "Thank you," because we took that extra step to get to safety before the hurricane because of your warning, because of the words you shared, warning about the dangers of Hurricane Beryl. And so that's what I try to make sure is that I'm not going to hype like the Weather Channel or, CNN or Fox or any of the major outlets. I'm only here for impacts. That's it. So if I'm here, it's going to be impactful. Like, it's just, you don't really want to see me, to be honest with you. Yeah. But I do that because that's my credibility. And I'm glad that those people listened. And, I hope that helps save some lives. And, you know, it was a bad storm.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. And I mean, your videos are so incredibly impactful. Folks, I've actually put the link to his channel there. It's scrolling on your screen. So you can have a look and join his channel, support. You know, this is independent journalism. It comes in, I've had this discussion with my audience before. It comes in all shapes and sizes. You know, his focus is obviously weather, natural disasters, and events like that. Please support his channel. Over 2 million views from a video from a day ago about the aftermath of this hurricane there in, it's Karakou. Is that how you pronounce it?
So with the Caribbean accent, it'd be more of like Karakou. You know, but for like us gringos, it's Karakou. That's how you look at the pronunciation guide. It's Karakou, like care, like Kerr, and then ku.
Yes.
So it depends on who you're talking to. Essentially, I kept calling it Karakou and getting criticized online, and I'm like, I don't know, I can't do the Caribbean accent. I just can't do it.
Yeah. No, totally understood. So I've just given you a subscribe. Let's push his subscribe numbers up. But, you know, obviously a lot of people are watching your channel. I've got a What's Up News channel, which I've just launched. I'm going to share your link with them as well so that everyone can give you a link and give you a follow. But I want to go through some of your videos here because, again, this is pretty phenomenal. What you caught in the aftermath. So we've got 2 videos. Let me just see. Let's do this one first. Hold on one second. So this is touring it after the devastation. That's the title of this one. And I think that let me just go back.
I shot that yesterday, so that's the day after Hurricane Beryl made landfall. Yeah, so that's the day after.
The first one was the survival stories. Hold on, let me see if I have.
Both of them are going to be survival stories. The video from yesterday, you imagine right after a major hurricane, getting around beyond just the vicinity is usually almost impossible because you have roads that are blocked by debris, trees, power lines, buildings, roofs. You know, everything like that is basically going to stop you from getting around. So there's no really way to drive. You just have to wait for the officials to move it out with big equipment. Yesterday, the day after Hurricane Beryl's impact, we were able to get on the road, kind of weave our way around the damage to make it to all points of the island, which is so critical to be able to show. This is a school where this was a shelter, guys. So this was a government school, I believe the Dover School on the eastern shore. Right where the hurricane went in.
People were being sheltered from the storm.
There were 35 people or so in there who had left their homes because a lot of these homes are not hurricane proof. They're not even, you know, not close to hardened. They're made of wood. That's a library. And so around 30 people or so are sheltering there, all different families, all different ages, kids, their, you know, grandparent ages, pregnant women. You know, a lot of women were washing clothes in the buckets out front. They cooked communally, of course. They had to scrounge for whatever perishable items they could find, and probably slaughtered a chicken too, if to be honest. And so they're cooking communally. All their supplies were lost in the damage. That woman who's sitting in the chair in the back in the gray, she's one of 2 people, at least I know. Her husband died in the hurricane. The building collapsed on her husband's head.
So that's
I spoke with her.
That's
the woman in the back. In the back with like a yellow.
The next, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so she's like closest to the yellow wall, gray. That her husband sadly perished. She was.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I couldn't really understand her. You know, she's very old and infirm. And that's a big problem, as you can imagine. There were no government assistance services over on that part of the island yesterday.
Oh my God.
You know, I mean, let's be honest, guys. Most of the governments have never experienced disasters like this.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't happen. I'm in more disasters in 6 months than they've ever seen in a lifetime. So, you know, how do you prepare for that? How can you plan for that? She was describing being inside of the school when it collapsed and how they survived. You see that giant container there, shipping container, collapsed on top of the building as well. It's really amazing that everybody got out of there without serious injuries. There were some cuts. There were some people who had to go get stitches in their arms, faces, stuff like that, legs. That's the main injury on the island after this hurricane. And let me explain something too. and this is something critical to you guys in Grand Cayman or anywhere in the Caribbean, Florida, the Gulf Coast especially. This will likely not be an extremely deadly hurricane, thankfully, on this island in Carriacou. And that's because it was really small and it was a wind-driven event. Water is what kills the vast majority of people. So when you hear storm surge and people, and they're predicting a storm surge of a really incredible height, that's where you have to run from it. You can hide from wind. Even if your building collapses around you, like this one right here, they were able to escape in the middle of the storm. So they could run, right, and hide again. For example, the hotel room where we were in, the roof ripped completely off the top of where we were. In the middle, right in the
we know that you recorded that, so we're going to show that here in a second as well. But wow.
So yeah, and I didn't realize when I was shooting east on the, it's a balcony, but it's more of like a little, it's a bigger than a balcony. I can't think of the word right now because I'm so tired. I got 4 hours of sleep. Anyways, I didn't realize at the time that my roof had been flying off. I didn't realize that I walked into the hotel room and I looked up and there was no roof, and there was still roof to fly off. And so that was an intense couple of minutes because you were thinking, all right, well, what do? You got to try and find shelter. And then where do you shelter? You have no roof. So you kind of huddle underneath the door frame. We tried to get out of the front door, but the pressure is so great, it's impossible to open the door at that point. And so we just ended up huddling in the closet for a few minutes. We're thankful this was a very small storm and a very fast moving storm. So it was only a few minutes. It wasn't like Hurricane Dorian in 2018, where you're talking about a Cat 5 hurricane sitting on Marsh Harbor for 24 hours. And that's, I can't even imagine what people had to go through on that one.
Wow. It's pretty crazy. So how many hurricanes, I'm curious, Jonathan, how many hurricanes have you actually been through?
Irma, and then every hurricane since 2018. So with the exception of Hannah in Texas, I believe, which was in 2019. So you name it. And I've been in hurricanes now in Mexico, Cuba, Carriacou, and I'll be back in Mexico in a couple of days for the next landfall of Beryl. There's a chance my partner and I might be the first people to ever experience the same hurricane in 3 different countries.
Interesting. Wow. So some of us survived Hurricane Ivan here in the Cayman Islands. That was 2004, category 5. It literally, at one point they say it went up to whatever, and then they couldn't monitor the speeds anymore. Like, it was off the chart. One of the things that we're very, very fortunate about here in the Cayman Islands is that a lot of our structures are actually concrete structures. So they tend to, but we still had 90-something% of our buildings had what would be considered severe damage as a result of that storm. So a lot of us are on edge, but the interesting thing is, that's why I was curious about even how many storms you've been through, because experience is the best teacher, right? It teaches you a lot.
Yes. It's the only way to learn, but each storm is different.
Right. But we
can't think, oh, well, this happened during this storm, so I'm good.
That's what exactly. Yeah. So, we have kids now who were born since then who don't have a concept, because we haven't really been hit by hurricanes since then, who they don't have that experience. They don't have that reference point at all to say, this is what to expect. This is, what we need to prepare for. One of the big things here is we have people who day before yesterday which was a public holiday here in the Cayman Islands, Constitution Day. Some of the stores open, lines around the block. How do you get through to people to tell them, listen, the meteorologists, all of the experts are saying global warming, all sorts of other factors are contributing a lot to warmer ocean temperatures and other things that are increasing the chances of us getting these hurricanes. It's a fact, right? This year in particular, the predictions are off the chain. We're going to get major hurricanes, multiple major hurricanes, and you need to prepare beforehand. What is it about human nature you find that really makes people feel too at ease until it's like the 11th hour?
I think that's just psychology, human psychology in general. You just can't understand until you've been through it. And it's an arrogance that we all have, that it's never going to happen to me. Oh, it's not going to happen to me. My house is going to be fine. this is fine. And then in some cases, it's because people can't afford to move. So they're kind of stuck in place. They don't have the means to transport themselves away from the danger zone as well.
Yeah.
And, you're talking about climate change, global warming, et cetera. I honestly never really get into that in my videos because if you think about, first of all, it's divisive, and I want people to listen to my messaging, of course.
Absolutely.
But we've had crazy hurricanes have been happening for years. 1933 was one of the craziest hurricane years on history, So I mean, the weather's crazy.
That hit that one. Remind me the name of it. I think it was just called a 33 storm for us.
Yeah, there was no real naming there.
Yeah, that hit our sister island, and that was the worst storm that we'd had previous to Ivan. Lots of loss of life and stuff there as well. So
1935 Labor Day hurricane that hit the Florida Keys, the strongest on record. I mean, there's so many examples of pre-industrialization, of real, hurricanes that are just incredibly powerful. The atmosphere is so complicated. I don't know how you can really break it down to one specific metric. But I believe the planet's in constant change. So it is changing. There's for sure differences. We've seen it in our lifetime, right? I mean, there's no doubt about it. We just have to, the biggest problem I see us as a society, what we're facing is we have last century's infrastructure. Where I live in St. Petersburg, all the homes, my home included, was built in 1947, I believe. So you can imagine that's well before modern techniques, right? And modern engineering and understanding and computer modeling, et cetera, to figure out what's the best roof, what's the best structure, et cetera. So we have the wrong infrastructure to handle the more extreme events, the higher rainfall events, because the atmosphere is warmer. And so it's going to hold more moisture, and then it's going to be like a rain bomb, essentially.
Yeah.
So we get into a lot of these.
Sorry, Jonathan. Just thanks to everybody. Yeah. My brain was off a little bit there. We had the 1932 storm. I think you're actually thinking of another storm, which was the following year. So thank you guys. That's what I love about my students here. They're correcting me. So I appreciate that very much. It was the 1932 storm that devastated Cayman Brac, our sister island.
Yes, absolutely.
So we got somebody.
So that shows you again, the 1930s were crazy when it comes to weather. The 1950s, were crazy. So it's just, it's been happening for a long time. We can learn from the past. A great example of I've been through a hurricane and I'm okay this time was Hurricane Ian with Fort Myers. They had gone through Charlie in 2004, I believe. They'd been through Irma, and so many people that had been through that hurricane on Fort Myers Beach said, oh, we had water at this level during this hurricane, so we're going to be okay. And then Hurricane Ian brought in 17 feet worth of storm surge. It wiped away houses on camera, which we had a documentary on Amazon if you want to watch. It's called Surviving. I can't think of it right now. It's Price of Paradise, Surviving Hurricane Ian. Price of Paradise, Surviving Hurricane Ian. And so we have some incredible footage from Hurricane Ian and interviews with survivors, including people who were inside of a house that was washed away on camera by that storm surge. I mentioned earlier the danger of storm surge. That's really the key metric you want to listen to. I really ignore winds. I'm not afraid of winds. It doesn't phase me in my planning. I just find the best structure I can that's solid. And that's really what I focus on. With water, I'm a coward. I'll run from water. I will get well away from any sort of potential storm surge. It's not something I mess around with. It's like lightning. So, call me a coward, whatever. I know I'm a lot tougher than a lot of people. And if I'm telling you to get away from storm surge, get away from storm surge.
Yeah.
Like it's
these
just to take it away.
Yeah, just a quick question. Are these officials? I'm going to turn on the volume here in your video. Were those official government people just now in the blue shirt?
Yes, that's the NADMA, I think it is. They're the disaster organization on the islands. And again, without our Starlink, they had no way to contact their colleagues down in Grenada.
Wow.
So they were working blind for about 24 hours. The Prime Minister of Grenada reached out to us through WhatsApp the night after the hurricane, so Monday. And that's how we were able to give him an information and then start connecting the dots. So
let's watch a little bit of this here.
Hey man, Jonathan, Petramala, I'm a reporter. Okay. So I'm the only journalist on the island here. And so we have a Starlink. So we've been able to get in touch with the government down in Grenada. I think we're the only people that have contact with the outside. They want to be able to get in touch with you guys, but nothing's working satellite-wise.
Wow.
Yeah, well, communication is done.
Yeah, so we can set it up outside and give you guys 10 minutes if you want to call down to the government in Grenada and communicate with what's happened here.
That'll be fine.
Okay, so we're going to set it up right outside if you want to come outside.
Yes.
Okay, what was your name?
Williams, Javan Williams.
Nice to meet you, Jonathan.
All right, nice.
And again, I'm documenting all of this because this is a big story that the whole world wants to know about. So.
Okay.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
It's a good shelter.
So is this is a shelter here, but it looks like it's some kind of storage area as well?
That's our emergency operations center on Carriacou.
Wow.
And so there were supplies on those shelves that they distributed to the shelters. But as you saw, the shelters, nearly all of them were damaged or completely destroyed. So all those supplies kind of went away. And so the remainder people, we're talking about 75, 80% of people on the island are homeless. In some either completely homeless where the home is completely leveled or roof is gone. That's the situation. And so they're all kind of cramming into the shelters that are still standing, newer buildings, but you're talking about shoulder to shoulder type of a situation at this point. And it's oppressively hot. There's no power. There's no AC. There's one thing about surviving a hurricane, and sometimes the hardest part is actually the aftermath, especially for these elderly folks you see right there. I spoke with his wife, who was able to use our Starlink to contact family in the UK. But you can imagine being that age in that condition. Her brother, who's deaf as well, was there. So what a terrifying experience they went through, where the home's collapsing around them during the hurricane as well.
Wow. All right, let's watch a little bit more here.
Good shelter.
Aw.
I didn't know he was deaf at the time. Sorry.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Wow.
So this is a shelter for the people here?
EOC, the Emergency Operating Center.
Okay, I got you. And so this are supplies that you can get down to the other.
This is the storeroom area.
Yeah. And then what should be over here? Like what's over here?
Well, we normally have the items, food items, security items in terms like blankets and other things that you put to the shelters. So storeroom, move from here to the different shelters.
Gotcha. Are you moving that stuff down today?
No, well, most of it already are moved to the shelters. So we have 5 shelters operating right now.
Did you hear about what happened to the other shelters yet?
No, we have assessors out there yesterday, and they are presently on site now.
Okay. Yeah. So you know what the conditions are and stuff?
Yes, pretty good.
Yeah. So we were able to make it up the hill. This is the emergency management center for the entire island of Carriacou. There is no communications anywhere on the island. The only communications that this island has is from the Starlink that Brandon and I brought to the island. And so we're going around trying to hop to as many different areas to assess the damage, to capture as many images as possible to share with the world. But also we're bringing our Wi-Fi with us so people can make text calls, text as well, get out information to their family and friends. And then the government agency here, who hasn't been able to actually reach their colleagues, the emergency management colleagues down in Grenada, the island of Grenada itself, they've been able to reach out to their offices as well, because again, the number one thing that's needed right now is communications on this island. Everybody is in the dark, and so we're trying to bring a little bit of light.
Well, question for you, what was it like getting Wi-Fi for the first time? I saw you both making a phone call. Who did you call?
As soon as I got it, the Wi-Fi, my brother was on the phone. He was right there. I'm like, really? Like he was waiting in the wings.
I told my son to call all the family.
So let me just ask you a question. So you had Starlink. So you were able to share your Starlink connection with these ladies so that they could call out?
We were, every place we stopped, we told people, hey, come over here. We're going to be here for about 15, 20 minutes. Please connect to our Starlink, send a text message to a person, give a phone call, let somebody in your family or in your friend group, your loved ones know you're alive, because there's no other way to reach out. Nothing. It's like you've been knocked back before the telephone, okay, or the telegram. There's absolutely no way to communicate off your neighborhood. You'd have to, one part of the island had no idea what the other part of the island was, right? So everything, you're in complete darkness. And so we're trying to bring a little light to it. And the reason actually why we're gone, I'm here in Grenada this morning, is we ran out of data. We ran out of data yesterday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So our Starlink was basically scrap metal at that point. For whatever reason, the Starlink will let you know you're out of data, but it wouldn't let you buy more data until you're connected to another network. So at that point, we were fortunate enough to be able to ride out with the Prime Minister of Grenada to get back to here. And then now we're able to, again, make our next move. And the reason also why we felt comfortable at this point, guys, is that all the aid's coming in. The airport's open. The ferries are going to be running boats. Private boat owners with catamarans and large boats are going to be bringing in supplies and stuff. World Central Kitchen is going to be on the ground feeding people today. So, I mean, at this point, we're going to kind of be in the way and taking up resources because we're going to be running out of water. We didn't have any food. There was not enough space on the plane for us to bring any supplies. So we don't ever want to be a burden. We don't want to take somebody's place on an emergency flight or something like that. So, so we removed ourselves, at the right time. I was able to spend 3 days sharing with the world and introducing the world to this island that, I mean, up until about 4 or 5 days ago, I'd never even heard of.
Neither have I got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I live in
yeah. So, I mean, yeah, exactly. So it's a horrible way to introduce this island to the people but it also is a great way because if people who have watched this video had no idea who these people were or this island, they see something that's special. It comes through the camera. I don't have to say it. It comes through the camera just how incredibly kind and gracious and humble and optimistic in the worst conditions these people are. The one thing I read, I remember when I was researching the island, it said Carriacou was the safest island in the Caribbean and it had the friendliest people. And of course you read that and you kind of like, oh, sure. Right. It's completely legitimate. I'll show up to pretty much any island or any place, when I go to Mexico and I'm going to have a target on my back. They're going to want to take as much money as possible from me because I'm a tourist. Right. Not here. Robert, our taxi driver initially, who we met his son through, who brought us around the island yesterday, that's his white van taxi. They didn't look at us as targets. They looked at us as guests and they treated us like that. And I'm going to be forever grateful for, their generosity and their kindness to a couple of white guys from the United States who, when you come in, how do you know that we have good intentions, right? You could think that anything about us, but they thought the best of us right away. And I think we lived up to it.
Wow. So that's fantastic. And I think that's probably more indicative of the Caribbean sort of generally. I mean, I hate to make generalizations, but,
Sure.
During times of disaster, we find a way to put our differences aside and really come together. So I'm glad to hear that these the community members there were so embracing and welcoming. Let's continue to watch a little bit.
And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to let you go here in a couple minutes. I'm going to be doing another interview. And, because of course I'm trying to reach out as many places as I can while I still can. While this is still in the news, I wanted to share as much as I can. So if you have a couple more questions before I head off, that you find that are really important, please.
Absolutely. Let's take a couple listener questions. So people are interested in Starlink and they're wondering, how does that work? Did you actually have access to it during and after the storm?
Well, so we didn't use it during the storm because we could not risk it being damaged, right? So you have to have it outside underneath, in the open.
Yes.
You can't have it sheltered or anything like that. And so we could not risk it because we knew that was going to be our only way to communicate. We were going to be dead in the water if we didn't have it. So we kept it safe during the hurricane. We put it out after. Now, usually in a hurricane, when we go places, we're going to either be in our own car where we have a way to a battery to charge, et cetera, like a lithium ion generator. Again, weight is a big issue in here. So we aren't able to take the normal supplies that we would take because again, I never want to take away from where I'm coming from or where I'm headed to. I don't want to take supplies away from the people that are going to need it. So we usually pack in everything we have, but of course this time we couldn't. So what we had to do, and also coming to this island, there isn't an Avis or a Hertz or a Enterprise rental car on the island. It's like, you can rent a car from Steve and they're not going to rent the car as a hurricane's coming. And so they didn't rent us a car. So what we ended up doing is using strangers' cars. The people that were staying in the hotel, some people, you know, that lived on the island that were sheltering in the hotel, we would just plug into their cigarette lighter. We had an inverter that we could use to plug from the cigarette lighter and use the car battery to charge the Starlink. And in return, I mean, they got free internet. So the people in the hotel were well off. They were able to communicate with their family as quickly as we were.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that information, folks. I guess it's something that we can certainly look into. Someone's asking you again about the storm surge. So your experience with this particular storm is, tell us a little bit about what you found with the storm surge for this island while you were there.
So I'll tell you real fast, I haven't been able to keep up with the hurricane much past where I experienced it firsthand, just because I've been so focused on the exact aftermath of this impact. So I don't know, I can't tell you from like how I would normally go into a storm, what it's going to be your impact specifically for your area. When it was coming ashore here, why we weren't worried about storm surge at all was the size. It's a really small hurricane, and it was moving very quickly. It had a small center. The large hurricanes like Katrina, if you remember, you think back to the picture of the satellite and you see Katrina and the hurricanes, the width of the Gulf of Mexico, that brought record hurricane storm surge. So typically, larger the storm, the slower moving storm, that's going to push water. If you remember just a week ago in Texas, there was a storm, a tropical storm. What was the first name of the season, guys?
Oh God, I can't even remember now.
I can't remember. Anyways, it made landfall in Mexico, but 600 miles away where I was on Surfside Beach, Texas, there was several feet of water being washed in from waves because of the storm surge brought by that storm. And that's just because of the size. The winds were, the tropical storm force winds were stretching 600 miles away from the center. So don't let just a tropical storm fool you. They can cause a lot of damage as well with their storm surge. Somebody asked a question about Starlink, if it works in Grand Cayman. I don't know. I know that they weren't officially approved here in Grenada, which is ironic. The government hadn't officially given permission about the use of Starlink here. But guess what? They're certainly happy to use Starlink now. Last thing I'll kind of leave you with, and I can ask one more and then I got to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were able to, with the help of Starlink, they reached out to us. I think we have 10 or so units being donated to the island. So hopefully communication is going to be getting a lot better here in the next couple of days.
Fantastic. Wow, that's fantastic. Jonathan, thank you so much. I know things are a bit crazy, but thank you for jumping onto the show. We're going to watch a little bit more of your video. We're going to get an update on where it's tracking right now and give everybody the latest coordinates that we have from the 7th.
And I'm sorry, I don't want to be a stickler. If you wouldn't mind just kind of sharing the link and not really watching it in real time, it really it kind of hurts the kind of the effort of what we're trying to do, because we're independent, and so I make my money off of social media essentially. So I'm not trying to charge you guys. We only make it through licensing the video and to like networks. And people kind of going to my channel to watch. So I appreciate you helping me to spread the message, and I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation, and I hope everything goes well for you guys there in Grand Cayman. I've been once before, a long time ago. I'd like to go back. I really want to come back, and I don't want that beauty to be ruined. So hopefully it moves further to the south, and you guys are spared this one.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Really appreciate it. Everybody, please follow Jonathan's channel. At Jonathan, is it Petramala?
It is Petramala. So yeah, just youtube.com, Jonathan Petramala. So it's really easy,
Go and
right?
watch all his videos.
So thank you guys so much.
Algorithms up there. Sounds fantastic. Thank you, Jonathan.
Please. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, every share, every like, every comment really helps the algorithm to know that this is a good video to watch, and it'll share to more people, and that shares it to the world, and that that in turn helps me pay for the flight that I paid to get here, and the hotel that I'm staying in, and the food that I eat, and all that stuff. So thank you guys, and to pay for the Starlink that we use. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. All right, bye-bye.
All righty, thanks. So again, big shout out to Jonathan there for jumping on the program this morning. I reached out to him late yesterday. Hadn't realized, in fact, that he'd responded quite quickly by email. Thanks to Starlink. I better look into getting myself a little Starlink connection. I don't know. Who do I have to call for that? Is that What's his name? What's the Starlink guy's name again? The Tesla fella. Maybe I need to give him a call. All right, folks, listen, let's get the latest coordinates. First of all, again, the NRA, you guys are still out there trying to park these vehicles. They've asked the police to assist them. Do not park your vehicles at the location there north of the Kimpton, that little bridge. Don't park there. Don't park by Ritz-Carlton. They're asking you to please understand that there's limited access in and out of West Bay, and you're potentially hindering the the access that these emergency services will have in and out of the district, and you don't want that to happen. It could be a matter of life and death, folks. So here we go. Again, showing people who are parked alongside the roadway. Please remove your car. See all these cars right here? I'm going to go out there after the show today. I'm going to do a live video about you guys not paying attention to what the authorities are saying. Do not park there. You're not supposed to park there. Oh, hi, honey child. Traffic is obviously a little bit crazy thing. Here's another one. More footage. Look at this. One of those, I mean, I'm not saying the storm's going to be this bad, but heaven forbid power lines and stuff like that go down. Your vehicles are actually not, they might be safe from water there, but there'll be other things that they're not going to be safe from. Peter says that's why West Bay Road should have never been closed. Well, that's now water under the bridge, quite literally. Don't park there. All right. So listen, coordinates as of 7 o'clock this morning. Let me give you what we have as the latest. Okay. So this storm is projected to come within 60. Let me give you right now we're talking about 145 miles per hour. This is from this morning, the 7 o'clock update. It went down a little bit, 145 miles per hour, moving at 22 miles. That slowed down a little bit from yesterday. This is still quite a serious category 4 storm, Hurricane Beryl. Expected weather conditions from Grand Cayman include overcast skies with widespread thunderstorms starting Wednesday night. That's tonight, folks. That's why everything is closing. Everything's shutting down. Grocery stores are going to be closing early. You need to make sure that you are in place. Don't make any last minute decisions. Decide now what it is that you're doing. Tropical storm conditions expected by early Thursday morning as Hurricane Beryl approaches. Widespread flooding anticipated. Risk reducing by evening as the storm moves away. Extremely rough seas, significant swells, storm surge peaking around Thursday morning. Folks, if you have, vessels in the water, obviously, you know that you need to secure those. If you haven't already, time is now running out. It is currently 430 miles east-southeast of Grand Cayman. Do not, you heard what Jonathan was saying. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, this isn't going to happen to me. It's going to veer more south. And y'all said that about Ivan too, honey jail. And it simply didn't happen. So you've got to be mindful that you prepare for the worst. Prepare for the worst and pray for the best, but you're prepared for the worst, okay? So ensure that you are ready for the storm, folks. Do not take any chances with this. We have, let me tell you how close it's actually going to get to us. Give me 1 second. We actually have some of this information. Right. So closest point of approach. So this is where we will feel the most from this storm. All right. So again, we'll continue to keep everyone updated in terms of this, but let me just throw this up on the screen real quick. My apologies to Instagram folks. Let's restart the Instagram feed as well before I continue with them. Yep. So we're going to 10 o'clock on the radio. Give me 1 second here. Okay. So Instagram feed needs to be restarted every hour. Frustrating. Yes, I know. I know. I know. All right. Hold on a second, honey chill. So we're going to do live video. Oh, why does it still says that it's live on Instagram, is it? Shouldn't be. That's a little bit weird. But anyway, says we're still live. All right, well, let's go with it. If it says that we're still live, although I feel like that's probably wrong. All right. Okay. Let's talk about what we got going on here. The numbers, okay? So, closest that it's going to get to us, anticipated again, things can change. Storms can be relatively unpredictable, but this is what the predictions are as of this particular time. We're talking about the center passing 69 miles south at approximately 4:30 in the morning. The only silver lining, I think, with storms happening overnight is you should be less inclined to go anywhere. So just hang tight, try to sleep it through the night. 4:30 a.m., Little Cayman. The center is going to pass them 112 miles south at approximately 1 a.m. on Thursday. So in fact, Little Cayman will probably start to feel more of it a couple hours ahead of us. Cayman Brac, the center is going to pass 117 miles south at approximately 12 a.m. Thursday night. So that's pretty early, just as we hit into Thursday tonight. All right, so the end of the tropical storm force winds for Grand Cayman, 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. for Cayman Brac tomorrow morning, and 5 a.m. for Cayman Brac. Please stay in place in terms of the actual, all clear being given. We have been asked to really, really encourage all of you to stay in place. Don't make any movements until the all clear is actually given. Here at CMR, obviously, we will stay on for as long as we can during the storm. All right, folks. Your preparations should be in place. Okay? If you've parked on the bridge, we need you to go move your your vehicle. Radios are out. So DMS has said the ones that they had, they're all gone. I've got about 4 or 5 left. I'll drop those off this morning, and then that's it. So again, that's it. Okay. Let me just see here. So nobody else go by the radio. They're getting too many people coming out now. What is expected storm surge? Hold on 1 second. Let me just have a quick look at that. So expected weather conditions. All right. So yes, Wednesday for Grand Cayman, rainfall. We're looking at approximately 0.5 to 0.7 inches, potential localized rainfall 1 to 2 inches. Thursday, 2 to 4 inches. Friday, 5 to 10 millimeter. We see decreasing. Let me see what it says about the storm surge, though. All right. So for Wednesday, 6 to 9 feet by this evening. Waves of 10 to 15 feet for tomorrow, accompanied by storm surge of 2 to 4 feet, particularly along the south coast. All right. Friday, we've got waves 5 to 7 feet with swells mainly along the south coast. Of course, Wednesday will be, Thursday, my apologies, tomorrow will be the greatest concern with that. Today, waves reaching 6 to 9 feet by evening. So some real serious considerations there for sure. All right. Why is it so hard to find information on storm surge, which is the greatest risk? Yeah, they always put that further down. Like the guy said, he said it's the water that you need to be most concerned about. All right, MPs, you guys are out and about. Michelle says go buy a radio. I don't know how many of them are available. Please go move your vehicles if you're on that bridge. Anywhere in a public road is probably not a good idea. So, yeah, it's weird because Instagram, I know that it stopped, but it's still trying to tell me that it's connected. Oh, there we go. Looks like it was kind of stuck on the connection. Okay, so again, folks, we got some serious action coming our way. I'm asking all of you to please remain vigilant and safe. And I want to show you guys, actually, go follow Jonathan's channel, and I'm going to show you what is happening in St. Thomas, Jamaica already today. And they've not really received the brunt of anything yet. We want to encourage our friends and family members in Jamaica to not play around with this storm, to take it seriously as well. So, this here is the comment. Obviously, the water's already coming in there on that coastal area, already starting to rip up some of the roadway. It sure doesn't take much. Look at that. I mean, started to churn a little bit there. Yeah. And here's some additional footage thanks to the St. Thomas already.
This look like me should have put on my water boot. Should have put on your water boot. Good. And Kyle, water boot can't fit him now. In growth in water boot, me see one pan sitting there team you with my one by fame.
All right, honey chill. She's saying that Carl already grew out of his water boots. I need to pull mine out, actually. I hope they still fit. Yeah, you always buy boots extra big because you know you're gonna be wearing thick socks and stuff. So we only have a couple radios, Michelle. Some people yesterday wanted, hopefully they've already picked up. It's gonna have to now be a first come, first serve sort of a situation. You know, yeah, it's we don't have an unlimited supply, unfortunately. But we've been giving them out for the longest time. And of course, human nature, everybody waits until the last minute to realize why they actually need one. So, all right, folks, please be safe. Tomorrow is Thursday. We will be here. We won't be on radio tomorrow because I think that they're going to be simulcasting the show across all the DMS stations. So we won't be live on radio, but we'll be live on social media tomorrow morning as well. Good morning, caller. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi, morning.
I didn't know we're calling live.
Yes, we're still live.
Okay.
Okay. I guess they didn't want to be live. All right. So make sure you got sufficient gas in your vehicles. Popeye's closing today at 9 p.m. due to expected weather. Somebody said, why don't they close earlier? Well, I'm guessing they're thinking that y'all gonna be wanting some chicken. You know, I'll message Mark and inquire. But y'all buying buckets of chicken before the storm? Is that the idea? I don't know. A lot of businesses being criticized as well because they're staying open too late, trying to accommodate the public, but inconveniencing their own staff. So be mindful of that if you are a business owner. There's a balance that has to be struck. So yeah. So Miss Joy Sand's store has radios and hurricane fans, power banks, etc. If they're not sold out already, she's located there across from Casanova's, I'm told. Okay. Somebody said, seriously? Looking for radios 18 hours before a storm? Rolling eye emoji. What a hot mess. Natasha, we've been giving out radios forever, so I'm going to drop off the last handful at Miss Sue said she's had hers for years now and it's been working great. So I'll drop off the last little bit at DMS right after the show. Damien, depends on what's going on with the storm. We might go live a little bit earlier, but we'll see. Because, honey child, like I said, I don't mind when a storm comes at night because hopefully I can just sleep through it. All right. Put water in your buckets, collect water in case we don't have any water. You might need to flush toilets and whatever. Teach your children that they can go to the bathroom, especially if they're just pee-peeing, without having to flush it every single time. You just tinkle and then you wait, in case the water goes out. If you have multiple bathrooms, you're fortunate enough to have multiple bathrooms and you can kind of move around a little bit. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Auntie. How you doing today?
Not bad, honey child. How are you?
Yeah, not so bad myself. Just
getting ready.
Want to tell you to be careful and wish you the best for this.
Thank you
for this
so
weather
much.
for you and your family. Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Listen, I want to find out how does plywood thing go that these MLAs giving out? Is that a budget, or they coming, or they taking that out of their own pocket to buy plywood?
Why don't we call one of them to find out? Because I don't actually know. They get a budget of $5,000 a month for constituency stuff, so I guess it depends on what they've been using their budget for. One person we know that is going to answer the phone is Kenneth Bryan, so let's call Kenneth. Stay tuned for the answer.
Yeah, okay.
Kenneth didn't answer. Hold on a second, honey child. He must be in another call. All right, we'll find that for you. I don't know where they're getting the money from. I suspect that some of them might even be getting it from private donors.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna hang up. I wasn't. I just had something to it. Well, I had some people been having experience that some of the MLA members saying, the member of parliament saying that they can't get no plywood because they never voted for them. This is real life experience news.
And about it, who tells you that? First of all, they don't know who you voted for. I mean, unless you vocalize it. And secondly, you got to make sure next time you definitely don't vote for them, and you tell everybody else that too. Which MPs are saying that? Anybody in Bodden Town?
The one up this area, yeah. The one up this area, you know the one that I talking about. Yeah.
Donkey 1 or Donkey 2?
They don't have Donkey all two of them, I guess.
Donkey all two of them.
No, I know in my area particular, but they went to the person went further up too, and they say, well, no, you gotta come back. You gotta come back west to get plywood from Bodden Town West. You can't get Bodden Town East. You can't get plywood from Bodden Town East. And the member from Bodden Town West was denying the person plywood because she wasn't on his list, his special list, what he got for his special people that vote for him. So whoever didn't vote for him, or whoever he think that didn't vote for him, he don't want to give him plywood. You know, I don't F wrong with none of them, so none of them don't come around my yard. But it's just other people having experience and tell me what's going on.
It's audacity. You know? It's really, really the audacity.
So I want to find out.
And listen, when you're represented, let me be very, very clear. No, let me be very, very clear about this. None of them probably spend their personal money because half of them ain't got it. But anyway, let me be very clear. When you're a representative of the people, you're not a representative of just the people that voted for you. You're a representative of the people, full stop. But this is why this Garrison-style politics that we are encouraging every single day in our country, we have got to get rid of these politicians.
Exactly.
Vote them out.
Exactly.
Thank you, caller.
At a time like this.
Don't worry, we can have a little after show moment. We can have some after show moment tomorrow when we're not on radio. Don't you worry, honey chill. After show during the storm. Hurricane Beryl and Hurricane Sandy gonna be put together. Appreciate your call.
Yeah, the cowboy called it wrong, you know.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about in Bodden Town too. Friggin' donkeys. Y'all elected him. Paul says, fill your bathtub up. You can use the water from it for flushing the toilet. And we have done that because we only got one bathtub. Good morning, caller.
I say that's bad in times like this, because one thing I can say with Reen, and I'm taking that for him because up in here. But I see people when I used to be out by his office, they come from West Bay, they come from Bordentown, and they not come that you gotta go to your representative, whatever they have out there, and they ask, they give it to one that they got Reen Panton, he got a great heart.
Yep. Thank you, caller. No, that's true, because even this morning, Heather was saying that people coming from all over Honey Jail. So I wouldn't doubt that. Because y'all have MPs who don't want to work. That's the problem. You think Donkey got answer the phone this morning? Let me see. Let's see. Because I know exactly who they're talking about. He said all two of them. But you know one of them we definitely not calling. What John number is again? I doubt he's going to answer the phone. Somebody said, Kenneth answer the phone. He must have lost his damn mind. No, I think he's probably on the phone trying to help somebody out. Let's give him a call again, because I'm calling him WhatsApp, so I'm not calling straight line. So it looks like it's ringing now, so he might be off the phone, because straight line calls. Let's see, Dwayne Seymour, if we can reach him and tell him stop telling people foolishness. But did not vote for him. Y'all shouldn't vote for him if you ask me. I'm just saying. You didn't call John this morning.
Hello.
Good morning, Minister.
Morning, Sandra.
How you doing? I know it's quite a lot going on out there at the moment. I soon drive out and do some little street coverage, but we had a listener to the program who was saying that there's some MPs out there who are telling people, "Oh, you didn't vote for me, so you can't get no plywood." And he's asking, where does the budget come for the plywood? We thought for sure you'd probably be the only person answering the phone this morning, so we thought we'd give you a call.
Yeah, and sometimes that backfires on me quite often, doesn't it?
Well,
I'm trying to be as open to the spot. Yeah,
it is what it is.
I don't know which MP would say that, and I can't confirm any MP has said that.
Yeah.
I can only say that the government has provided plywood to each elected member to help out in their constituencies.
Okay.
But only in limited.
It's reconnecting. 1 second. Sorry, you're breaking up a little bit there.
I'm breaking up because you call them in a WhatsApp and people are constantly calling me, right? So that's probably going to continue to happen. But yeah, I don't think what government has provided for each member is going to be able to cover the whole country. It was to help people who are vulnerable, maybe.
Yeah.
It's going to be calls keep on coming in. It's going to be unrealistic to expect the MPs to cover everybody. That's just not going to be possible.
And listen, right? we were talking about this yesterday, asking people to be as self-sufficient as possible. Obviously, I want to encourage people to do that. If you can afford to do it on your own, if you've got assistance, there's even Michael from Magic Touch and his team trying to help people put up plywood and stuff like that. But so don't use these services if you don't need to, because it's for people who are truly in need. So that's an important point to make. But to tell people that you're not going to help them because they didn't vote for you, if that was said, I think is ridiculous, to say the least.
Of course it is. Of course it is. But I don't want to get into speculation of whether that was said or not. It is political season. Trust me, I've heard a lot of silliness. And to be honest with you, this is not the time for it, right? Genuinely, if people are in need, we got to all help each other, regardless if they're politicians or just average Joe in the country. Like, I really don't have the time for that. I want to help as many people as I can. And I know my colleagues are doing that. I know the members in opposition are trying to do that. So I can't speculate on that. Even me, I done 6 pallets of plywood so far, way beyond what government is giving me out of my own pocket as well. And I still haven't done enough. So there's going to be somebody who's going to say, well, Kenneth, you didn't give me plywood too. But that's a part of it, right? Right now, I don't think we should be complaining about that. We have to work together. Everybody, we're all in this together. Trust me, when the storm hits, life is more important than all the rest of the stuff. So I'm sorry if somebody genuinely experienced that. I'm really, really sorry. I hope I wish I could help, but I don't know what to say to that. And it's not time for that kind of stuff. Right now, we got hours away before a national emergency with a major storm.
Yeah.
So, Sandra, I'm sorry, I'll leave you there, but I got more work to do and there's less hours to do it.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, Doctor.
Okay. All hands on deck, folks. Final preparations underway. And, you know, it's crazy out there, obviously. Everyone is being encouraged to prepare. Charge up all of your devices. You've got phones and all sorts of other things that you'll be utilizing. Please make sure that everything is charged. I'm going to put all of my laptops on charge this morning. So yes. Let me just see. Okay. All right. So that's it. Get to moving those vehicles, please. This morning, no more calls because I actually have to get on the road. And I want y'all to be safe. We will be here as much as we can on social media. Like I said, the radio is going to be all simulcast tomorrow, so we won't be on that, but we will be on social media. Okay, so make sure you tune in: Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube as much as we possibly can. Thanks again to Jonathan for jumping on the show today. Please go and watch that. And let me see here now. Let's watch the weatherman. Let's go ahead and end the show with a clip from the weatherman to see what his latest predictions are. He had a show 4 hours ago. So let's go ahead and watch what he was saying 4 hours ago. Again, to all interest in Jamaica, you know, we were receiving reports that you guys were not taking this storm seriously. This storm has already cost at least 5 people their lives. So I would suggest that you not play around with this storm. Nothing to joke around with. This is still a major hurricane. Please be cautious out there, folks. All of you, prepare yourselves to be at your homes. Stay in safely in your homes as of this evening. If you need to seek a shelter location, please do so early. All right.
Thank you very much for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. We have a few million of us in Jamaica. Today, we're going to see a hurricane moving in. With that said, that also means we're going to see a few million people, awesome people, helping each other out. Please think of others going through something like this. So if anyone's alone, maybe we could check on them early this morning before the worst weather moves in, maybe take them in. So let's get to the latest on this. Winds right now, 145 miles per hour or 235 kilometers an hour. It is moving to the west-northwest at about 20 miles per hour or 32 kilometers an hour. So that's not necessarily slow. That's a good thing. Keeps moving. I do expect further weakening. And I want to say that with caution. It's going to weaken some before it moves in today. That's all relative. This thing was a Cat 5 down to a Cat 4. It should be a Cat 2 or Category 3 major hurricane as it impacts Jamaica today and then makes its way toward the Cayman Islands. You can see it here, and I'm not losing sight of the Dominican Republic and especially Haiti, just like we talked about yesterday. Very heavy rain south side of Haiti. Watching those river crossings. We're going to see runoff. We're going to see some extreme flooding. If you're in Haiti, keep me posted as we go throughout the day, even back toward parts of the DR with some of the rain that is moving in. But on track, and you can see it here, it stayed south of Puerto Rico, moving toward Jamaica. This blob here moving into Barbados, still not organized. I don't lose sight of that either. That's an area of disturbed weather. I'm not seeing development out of that, but that is going to bring some increased rain to the Eastern Caribbean. So I want to track where this is going next, the winds we can expect, and what we could expect going forward as I break it down island by island, country by country. All locations matter. But Jamaica, we really need to be in place today. Now, out ahead of it, we've had some rain overnight, been up overnight watching everything. It's called the predecessor rain event. Sometimes you get a batch of rain breaking free. So if you've had some rain in Jamaica, again, that's not the main action, of course. It's back here, but be in place within Jamaica as we go throughout the day. Of course, thinking of others. Cayman Islands by sunset, if not earlier, especially Grand Cayman. That's where we're going to see some of the bigger impacts moving in. And then this will eventually move toward parts of Mexico. I want to break down the Yucatan and over toward Belize. Breaking down the winds, and I'm kind of on the worst case scenario here, the high side to keep you prepped. You can see the winds here moving in later today. So eastern and especially southeastern end toward Kingston, winds of 110 miles per hour are possible. That would be 180 kilometers an hour just north of there. 100 mile per hour winds possible. Hoping it's less. Always hoping it's less. I don't like hurricanes. Don't wish them on anyone, and I know you don't either. 160 kilometers an hour. As you get toward, say, Falmouth, Montego Bay, winds will be near 80 miles per hour or 130 kilometers an hour. And as you get toward Black River, down through Treasure Beach, 90 miles per hour or 145 kilometers an hour. Plus, on top of the winds, we're dealing with a surge. Coming this way, winds on the backside coming this way, all sorts of problems all around us. The winds are going to be shifting throughout the day, and that means we're going to have that surge. That's the rise in the water that's going to cause those issues in the coastal flooding along our coast. So here's the very latest. I was showing you those winds earlier, 145 miles per hour, 235 kilometers an hour. The next advisory, actually next couple that come out, we should see the winds going down a little bit. So on track. I don't do a video every day. I'm not here to add to the drama. You could subscribe or not subscribe. I'm here to put out the accurate information so you can stay safe. The video, for example, I had yesterday, the forecast is holding. So I'm not going to add to the drama. Don't do this for money. Don't have sponsors or anything like that. You can see Jamaica, Cayman Islands were under those hurricane warnings. We now have that hurricane watch that is up here for the Yucatan down into northern, right where we hit Belize. And then down through northern Belize, we have tropical storm watches in effect. I'll get into that angle. Now, eventually, this will hit the Bay of Campeche. I do expect it to re-strengthen into a hurricane and move toward Mexico or Texas long-term with this. So as it stands right now, this is a Category 4 hurricane, as I mentioned, moving into Jamaica later today as a Category 3, and then eventually should be downgraded to a Category 2. But downgraded, it's all relative. We're dealing with a powerful hurricane. So a major hurricane that will be working in later today in Jamaica, especially as we head toward the afternoon. I'll zoom down in a second. Here are those computer models, and these are just thin lines. You see how they are, the thin line is south of Jamaica barely, but the size of this, it's huge, as you know, as we've seen. So again, this is going to encompass Jamaica. We're all going to get those hurricane impacts in Jamaica. Then this will head toward the Yucatan south side. That's going to clip us with some tropical storm conditions in Belize. And I do believe this is going to get pulled to the north as it strengthens. Things that things that spin more get pulled more to the north if there's nothing blocking it. And I believe we'll see this kind of swinging up toward northeastern Mexico once again, where we had Alberto moving in, or to the north back toward Texas. This could very well swing up toward Texas. Show you that with the European model in just a second. So it's Category 4. These are those squiggly lines. As we get into later today, it'll be a Category 3. So you'll hear about that. We've got that major hurricane moving in. Then it'll go down a little bit further. Of course, land interaction's key. As this moves across Jamaica for us, that's going to help weaken it some going across the land. And then a little bump up in a few days. That's because once it gets into the Western Gulf, Bay of Campeche, I do expect it to re-strengthen. So here's one of the looks, and then I want to zoom down in a moment. So here we are in Haiti, still some rain bands working in. Jamaica by 2 o'clock, some of the Worse weather's moving in. Here we are in the Cayman Islands, our smaller islands, our big island here in Cuba. We'll see some of the rain on the eastern end moving in. This will work its way by tonight, start to pull out of Jamaica, but we're still going to get the rain bands on the backside. More on that in a second. And then this will start to work into the Cayman Islands tonight. That's why sunset, you need to be in place, be where you need to be for this storm in the Cayman Islands. Worse weather toward Grand Cayman, some tropical storm winds as you get to the north or north. Northern islands, Little Cayman, for example, 85 miles away from our big island, Grand Cayman, are 135 kilometers away. So that's going to make a big difference in some of the impacts. We'll go from hurricane conditions in the Big Island to tropical storm conditions in the smaller islands as we work our way into the Cayman Islands. So this is 2 o'clock today. Right there, that is the center of this. Right in here is the center of Beryl. So we're going to see the heaviest weather working in, the hurricane conditions. Major hurricane, should be a Cat 3 at this point, Kingston, Morant Bay. And then as we pull forward, here's the center of this right near Treasure Beach. This is at 4 o'clock today. So western end later in the day, the conditions are going to be awful. Please stay inside. Now the center, that's not the center there. That's some of the land interaction. The center will pull offshore by 7 o'clock, but hurricane conditions, especially in our western end up toward Falmouth, you can see here, this is 7 p.m. And then as this pulls away by 10, yes, the core of it starts to work our way. That's good. But on the backside, it's still going to wrap in some bands of rain and storms. So even as we head toward tonight, in Jamaica, please use caution. Best to stay inside if you can. We're still going to get some tropical storm conditions for tonight. So hurricane today, tropical storm conditions for tonight. Kilometers an hour and miles per hour on this map, but more so, this is a computer model. It doesn't do the best job. I just really want to show you the circulation here working into Jamaica today. This is 2 o'clock. We have that hurricane moving in, maybe a direct hit if the eye passes right on top of us, which is possible, or the eye would be just to the south. That's going to wrap in some of the worst weather of this hurricane. Hurricane's moving across. This is 5 o'clock today. Backside, we'll start to see the winds coming out of the north on our northern coast. That's going to bring in the surge and increase the winds. And then you see the core of the winds working toward the Cayman Islands by tonight. Backside of this, though, we still have tropical storm force winds in Jamaica as we, get into tonight. And then you could see this working its way toward the Cayman Islands. Here is Grand Cayman. Then you get over toward our smaller islands. This is by 11 o'clock tonight. Hurricane conditions over toward Grand Cayman tonight. And then tropical storm conditions up to the north. This is overnight. We'll get some of the worst weather for the Cayman Islands. 6 in the morning, still Grand Cayman tomorrow morning. We're going to be dealing with some hurricane and tropical storm impacts. And then eventually it'll start to slide away as we hit 9 o'clock. Still some tropical storm conditions in Grand Cayman, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, but then we'll see things starting to improve. Of course, watching the surge, the coastal flooding. We're going to see that flooding, no doubt, as we get toward the Cayman Islands. So here's the broader picture. Here's that blob there. My friends in St. Lucia, St. Vincent the Grenadines, Dominica, Grenada, Barbados, we'll see some extra rain around. Not seeing any organization out of that. Hoping some of the rain can lift up toward Antigua and Barbuda, since we need some rain. Passing shower in Anguilla. But here is this. So this is later into the, we're going to get later into the week. This is 1 o'clock tomorrow. See the impacts in the Cayman Islands, but starting to move away. Now here's Belize. That shift we saw a couple days ago and I was talking about yesterday is helping out Belize. It looks like hurricane conditions will move in to the Yucatan of Mexico. Tropical storm conditions just trying to clip northern Belize. But we'll also see if the center of this moves right over Jamaica, that's going to weaken it further. And of course, that means we'll see extra weakening, and it may not be as strong as it gets toward the Yucatan. But once this gets into the Gulf of Mexico and Bay of Campeche, water temperatures, again, very warm, even though we've had a couple systems there, Alberto and Chris there, this is going to start to pull up to the north and re-strengthen. So again, Texas, Northeast Mexico, this is going to get pulled to the north. Not exactly sure how far and exactly where, but that's going to lift up to the north. And watching other batches of rain, but not organized in the Caribbean as we get into the upcoming weekend with that other tropical disturbance. So in the Yucatan down through northern Belize, we're still in action mode right around Belize City. Hopkins, for example, south of Belize City, not so much. We're more in the way of monitor mode from Hopkins back through Honduras, watching it carefully. But it looks like the worst weather would be up toward us, say Cancun, get over toward the Yucatan of Mexico, and just brushing by, clipping by northern Belize. We'll break that down further in a moment. Here's the European model showing that hit of Beryl moving into Jamaica for today. There's that area back behind it. This is the setup and what's going on. High pressure has been to the north. That's been keeping everything right through the Caribbean and then kind of swinging back toward parts of the Gulf. High pressure has been the dominant feature. That's like a block. It's like a fence. So while these things that spin want to go north, they find windows to go north. This can't jump up to the north. So the Bahamas, for example, this is coming nowhere near the Bahamas. There's a blocker in place. And then as we work our way into tomorrow morning, this is tomorrow morning impacting the Cayman Islands. There's that area of disturbed weather. There will, by the way, be some gusty winds in the Eastern Caribbean with that disturbance moving in. It's just not organized, not a named system. Watching out for some rain. And there's that area of high pressure. That's the blocker. That's the fence. So this can't lift to the north, just continues west, northwest toward the Cayman Islands. And then moving forward as we go through the day tomorrow and then into tomorrow evening, it will make its approach into the Yucatan. So tomorrow night into Friday, that's when we'll start to see some of the worst weather moving into the Yucatan. Still as a hurricane as of now, that's how it's looking. Here's Belize. This is the European model again. This works into the Yucatan as we go through the day on Friday, and it will weaken once it goes over land, loses its fuel source, which is the water, and then it moves back toward the Bay of Campeche, and that's where I do expect re-strengthening. Almost all the models show a bump up in re-strengthening. I don't just look at the models. They can be so off. Check the environmental conditions. There should be strengthening. The European model drives this into northeastern Mexico, while the American model and a few other models take it more up toward the north, up toward Texas. This here is on Sunday. So Sunday into Monday, this will start to work into Mexico or start to lift up toward Texas. That's kind of the time frame there. Water temperature is so very warm, 29 degrees Celsius or 84 degrees Fahrenheit, where Beryl has moved over and where Beryl's headed. Water temperatures dropped a little bit in parts of the Gulf because of Alberto and Chris that was over there, but not enough. It's still very, very warm this time of year. And the other thing we're dealing with right near near Jamaica, the wind shear is why it's weakening some or going down some. Those are the winds that kind of clip some of the storm tops of the hurricane. That's good. Wind shear is good as we go throughout the season. But on the flip side, you see that red there right near Jamaica? That is warm water and warm deep water. That is heat content. So while above our heads, we've got some good news, down below, not so much, because that is the extra fuel for this. So the wind shear is kind of battling the ocean heat content at this point. So let's break it down further. Jamaica, we have that hurricane moving in. What I was talking about 24 hours ago is right on track, almost to a T. I didn't really have to update. I've been forecasting nonstop. You could ask my family. I've been just checking this around the clock, and I haven't really changed this much. This is the worst end. This would be the highest end, but I showed you earlier. You could jump back in the video too, kind of the breakdown in the winds depending on location in Jamaica. 120 miles per hour, 190 kilometers an hour. Yes, the rain the issue, but also watching the winds. In the big surge that will be working in Jamaica. We have a hurricane coming in later today. Cayman Islands, as I mentioned, the breakdown, the difference in location, 80 to 90 miles away from our northern islands versus Grand Cayman. We're going to see near hurricane conditions in Grand Cayman, and then to the north, not as much. So it's breaking that down further. Winds roughly 60 miles per hour, 95 kilometers an hour, few inches of rain, and watching that surge, there is going to be flooding. We're making those preps. We're finishing those ASAP as soon as possible in the Cayman Islands. Always want to be safe for sure, and then we'll just hope for the best. Hopefully we wake up or get over the next 2 days, it wasn't as bad as we thought or something like that. I hope that is the hope. Now the Yucatan, so as we get toward Mexico, 75 mile per hour winds or 120 kilometers an hour, 4 inches of rain or 100 millimeters of rain. Watching the track though in Jamaica, if the eye does move right over Jamaica, that would add to some weakening. But the Yucatan and Mexico, we're going to see a hurricane working in Thursday night. So that's tomorrow night into Friday. Now Belize, yesterday we got some better news. That is holding. The worst weather stays to the north, but right around Belize City, we're still taking those preps. Some tropical storm conditions possible. As of now, it looks like worse weather is to the north. We get some gusty winds of 45 miles per hour, 70 kilometers an hour. Get a few inches of rain possible in our northern sections. Other spots of Belize are going to say, hey, what storm? It's not here. And yes, that is the case. Again, I like to tell you where a storm's going, but also where it's not going, so you don't have to spend time, money, resources, all that stuff, and anxiety to prepare for a storm. So we got some better news in Belize, watching it carefully. Still some tropical storm conditions are possible, especially northern Belize. So not taking our eye off of the system. Meters here, feet over here, simply put, for my boaters, my mariners, and that's a lot of us, and thinking about where your boat is and you know, your business right along the coast. These are those giant swells working in as we'd expect. High seas, very, very high seas are wave heights, what we would expect in a major hurricane and a hurricane working. This is tomorrow, working toward the Yucatan. And then this here is by Friday. And then by Friday, this here, a little pickup here is because of that other tropical disturbance behind it. But by Friday, we're going to see those seas very much on the high side, to say the least, over toward the Western Gulf and Bay of Campeche, and that'll be the case as we go throughout the weekend in the Western Gulf, and still watching those seas build. A lot of active weather behind this, so we'll be breaking that down further. But of course, all eyes on what's going on with Beryl. As far as the swath of rain, these colors are off my chart. You see the black shading in there, that's 150 millimeters or 6 inches of rain. Anything other, these other colors, these reds and yellows, that's higher than that. So into Jamaica, we could get some much higher totals. But fortunately, I mentioned the forward speed on this is still moving to the west-northwest at 20 miles per hour, 32 kilometers an hour. That's okay. Some of these things can move very, very slow. At least this thing is moving You see again some heavy rain. Obviously, that's going to be working in with this as we get toward Jamaica. Heaviest rain as we get toward the Cayman Islands right here. See over toward Georgetown, you get over toward Grand Cayman. That's where some of the heaviest weather will be, and not as much as far as the higher totals up toward our northern islands. So there's that swath right there, and then eventually heading over toward Mexico. But as we work our way over the next couple days, still in the Eastern Caribbean, you see that uptick in some of the rain. We could get upwards of 75 to 100 millimeters of rain. That's with that tropical disturbance moving in back behind this. So Jamaica for today, the hurricane is moving in. Thank you for helping others, taking care of your friends and neighbors. I've been watching those comments. I'll go throughout those throughout the day, but you just be safe. Don't even worry about commenting or anything. You be safe, but let us know after how you are doing. Cayman Islands tomorrow. I mentioned the breakdown, the difference in location. Then we swing back toward Trinidad and Tobago. Little uptick in some of the rain, not a guarantee we get some rain today. Scattered showers and storms. Higher chance though in Barbados with that tropical disturbance that is not organized. Same thing as we get towards St. Lucia. Rain chance about 70% in Grenada as we go through the day, and we are thinking about Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines with what happened with Beryl. When it rolled through, we are all thinking of you. There's no doubt about that. You're seeing the love in those comments. Martinique, 70% chance of rain today, and about a 60% chance in Dominica as that tropical disturbance moves in. Rain chance still on the elevated side as we get toward Guadeloupe. Antigua and Barbuda, we need some rain. I'm hoping some of the showers break free and clip us by in our northeastern zones of the Caribbean. St. Kitts and Nevis, we in Montserrat, we do get a bump up in the rain chance, Anguilla and St. Bart's, but not a guarantee. 50% chance tomorrow and Friday. St. Martin, Saba, and Statia, a little bump in the rain chance. Rain chance will be higher tomorrow in Puerto Rico. Scattered storms will be around, and about a 50 to 60% chance in the British and U.S. Virgin Islands. Not a guarantee. Just seeing that chance of some showers and storms. Bahamas, the heaviest weather has been down to the south. Heaviest weather, Turks and Caicos, has also been down to the south. Dominican Republic, we're watching our south side. Worst weather's moving away, but watching out for a few pockets of flooding. If you're in the DR, let me know how you're doing along our southern coast. And in Haiti, the rain chance is about to go down. This is for later today, but this morning and early today, I showed you that flooding and watching those rivers rising, those river crossings, watching that one, especially that big one, as we get toward Jacmel. Belize, rain chance, again, watch all eye back. 50% as we get toward the end of the week. All eyes on Beryl, Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire. Hard to buy some rain. Everything up and around us right now. So monitoring some of the lack of rain that we've had. Guyana, we're looking at a 60% chance. Suriname, about a 60% chance of scattered rain and storms. And looking at a 40% chance in Cuba. Eastern, and as I was showing you earlier, some of the showers trying to work in, some of the rain bands trying to work in from the very northern fringes of Beryl. Costa Rica and Panama, a few areas of flooding, isolated to widespread showers and storms in Nicaragua, 30 to 50% chance the next few days. Same thing in Honduras. Again, Beryl will be staying to the north. Guatemala and El Salvador, 50% chance of rain. Pockets of flooding around Mexico City. And of course, as we get toward the Yucatan, all eyes will be on Friday with hurricane conditions moving in. 30 to 40% chance of rain as we work our way toward Colombia. 30 to 40% chance of the next few days. Not too high as we get toward northern Venezuela. Better chance of some showers nearby in Bermuda as we go throughout the day. So Hurricane Beryl moving into Jamaica today. After that, the Cayman Islands, the Yucatan on Friday and monitoring northeastern Mexico and Texas after that, as we could see some hurricane conditions moving into that direction. So in Jamaica, Cayman Islands, we are all thinking of you today. No doubt about that. Thank you for spreading this channel just to get the correct information out there. Doing the best I can. And please be safe. Worst weather is about to move in. We're thinking of you. Have a good day ahead.